Amen la ciencia.
Me, myself, and I still pushing forward, I'm ahead like die. Standing on my flow with my head to the sky. Pass on a bitch, young rip, drop dimes. It's been a rough road, gotta look for the signs. I'm married to this music, so I cook for my bride. Flip out like a skateboarder, look how I grind. It took a long time, but I'm right on time. I'm progressing, that's progressive, I got bars like a correction. Still chasing petty cash, that's a mantis. I want extra, I stop searching for my pops. I hold my nuts just like a checkup. I get physical, I'm copping just like Interpol. I play on words like a syllable, to me the world is fading. Hold this L just like a Laker, like a birthday, my shit caking. It get messy like an apron, I pick out just like some bacon, and I sizzle like it too. Can't forget about you, boo, it feel like we on a loop. Same shit, different day, I don't know what's really true. I get high as I leave hoops, who gon' give me what I'm owed? Man, I guess nobody knew, and I know that money talks, so what it said is probably true. It's the feeling that I get, and the shit I'll probably do to get through or get by. I get fly, cause I'm Jeff Goldblum in my mind. Tell them hoes to fall in line. If you thought I fell off, bitch, I'm back like my spine. Hot as homemade pie, that's the pro rate, ma. I'm a pro, ain't I? Sniff it out like K9s. I'm a thief, it take time to be great, I'm Bayside. I get blue like Kelly Parker, when I'm gone I left a mark. Tell them fish I'm still a shark, I got will, I will embark on this journey till it's finished. In the midst of all this friction, I got vision on my P's like no limit. Like a mouse, now we clicking, I go out for the spinach, that's business.
Cut the cord that kept us connected, blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected. All of the love from up above, we used to feel like a glove. I still think about the you that only exists in my brain. Nothing ever stays the same, guess it's just a shame. There's no one to blame.
Stop looking for somebody else to lay the blame. Without a wave of change, life stays the same. So when I pull up to your spot, I'm with a paradigm chick. Only used to have one and it's my paradigm ship. Cause for celebration, I cracked a hen. I took a hiatus, but I'm back again. A bunch of blue face hundreds, I've been stacking them. Cause in the game of life, I just have to win. So when I'm in go mode, I be ballin' insane. Tried to walk away, they was calling my name. My brothers from another, we are all in the game. Don't give a fuck about clout nor all of the fame. I'm trying to inspire, empower, build and progress at a steady rate. Move heavyweight like a Bowflex. The haters make me greater, they mad, I got them so stressed. Shock my style for a while, now I can show text. Screenshots as proof and receipts. You a certified clown, been a goof in the streets. Angel made the beat, but this my demon flow. Get a lot of love from people I don't even know. And when the situation's ugly like Dudley, we do right. Fuck propaganda, let's conquer and unite. The wait's over, take over, it's commencing. My money fully grown, and yours like an infant. But that ain't no shade to you, it's just provision and protection, what you made to do. Being a man with a purpose, who you supposed to be. Living life as a loser, that's a joke to me. FN 509, stay close to me. If I pull it, I'ma spray like some potpourri. I don't wanna have to go there, so hopefully you don't try to have no beef or no smoke with me. Bro, everything I'm talking about, be backing it up. I'm back in the cuts, rapping the Dutch and macking a hut. She start to get aroused when I'm smacking her butt. Baby got stupid cheeks and she be clapping it up. I'ma enter through the front and hit the back of her guts. She a classy lady but be acting a slut. When we be kissing and cuddling, my bitch like to hug. Her box customized so it fit like a glove.
Ayo, who is that dude? Oh girl, that's just B-Eazy. Oh boy, that's just B-Eazy. Well, who is B-Eazy? Oh, you ain't know he been a pro, for show, all about the dough. He been running up them racks and still trying to get some more. He really one of them ones, his presence so pivotal. So hell yeah, he that dude, this is unequivocal.
Yeah. Listen up. It's B-Eazy Dat Dude, the great. He ain't fake, he one of the real guys. Spitting fire every stream, you've been late to the party, now it's time to realize. From Pittsburgh to around the world, yeah, the flow is elite. Every beat that he slide on turns into straight heat. Came up from the grind, selling box on a laptop, running up a bag, feel like he hit the jackpot. Got the luxury visions, ambition vivid, never bluff. Purses, progress, persevere when the going gets tough. B-Eazy Dat Dude, got stripes in the game. Every rhyme, every line, they gon' remember the name. From the streets to the stage, the energy don't fade. Legend in the making, yeah, history's what he's laid. Mic in his hand, heart in the flow and soul on every beat. Dropping knowledge, power, bravado, his legacy complete. Hustle amplified, lyrics electrified, that's the truth. B-Eazy Dat Dude, established with certified proof. Feel the bass, feel the vibe, let it ride through the crowd. All the words, every hook, man, he keeps making us proud. King of his lane, rising above every feud. All hail the one and only, one and only, one and only. B-Eazy Dat Dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Ayo, who is that dude? Oh girl, that's just B-Eazy. Oh boy, that's just B-Eazy. Well, who is B-Eazy? Oh, you ain't know, he been a pro, for show, all about the dough. He been running up them racks and still trying to get some more. Don't care about the fame, just trying to gain and grow. He really one of them ones, his presence so pivotal. So hell yeah, he that dude, this is unequivocal.
Turn your radios up. Turn your radios up. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know who this is. B-Eazy Dat Dude on the late night impromptu stream, back with another one. This one is gonna be a banger. Get y'all ready for the weekend, so this will be a doozy. I don't like to keep y'all waiting, especially on the late night. So before we get this thing started, you know, I gotta hit ya.
If you know the song, sing along. Yeah, you're right.
私も地元民。と言っても自分は世代です。もう友達できたの？うん。ぶったまんまこっち見ろ。
Look, this promethazine got me leaning like a cholo in the club. I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks is showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow-mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting moto. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no ho. This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy Dat Dude in the trap making pass smooth. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji eating tandoori and chicken curry, that ism is really in me. My pimp game international. I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of better. And we are activated. So it looks like we've already been joined by some illustrious guests. Let me go ahead and take this down and let me put this up. Make sure that y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is a late night stream, so I appreciate anybody that's coming in. I won't be here for too long. It won't be a long time, but it will be a strong time. we've got the illustrious, and you know what? Big Riggs was asking about you, Jackie. Big Riggs said, where has Miss Jackie been? We haven't seen her. The sophisticated, the spectacular, the stunning Miss Jackie Gaines. Also, we got Roger Meadows. Bruh, what you still doing up? I forgot Roger Meadows is a vampire. Bro is always hard working, and you know it's always more to do. The job is never finished. So shout out to Nassau County, but where Brooklyn at? Also, Richard Phillips coming through. Eye of the Beholder. Shout out to the bro Johnson. Different. Also, FBA all day. There would be no USA without FBA. We got Tutneys in the building. And oh no, the lovely Miss Jackie Gaines was sick. So hopefully you're okay. I don't know if you needed a hot toddy. I don't know if you needed some Robitussin or Tussin, you know, a ginger shot, or maybe just some water, or maybe just some rest. So I'm glad that you're well rested, revitalized, and refreshed, because we did miss you, Miss Jackie Gaines. We was wondering where, you know, we was looking for you, like, and this is some OG stuff right here. You know that where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? That's how we was looking for you. Where in the world is Miss Jackie Gaines? But yeah. Oh, all of the above. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm gonna get to it. And you said, I sent your show to BK. Maybe he'll be here soon. Who is BK? Let me know who BK is. And shout out to Ted Nees. See, you're welcome over here, Miss Jackie. People was asking, where in the heck? Oh, what's up with the bull? Are you from Philly? What part of Philly from? That default pick that you got is fire. Actually, I gotta say it properly. That is fire. What up with the bull? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start to get into the video. I'm just ecstatic to see. I wasn't expecting to see Miss Jackie Gaines, because we literally was asking, where in the heck is Miss Jackie? Oh, okay, got you. BK is Brooklyn. I thought you were saying, I thought it was initials for somebody else. Okay. West Philly, big FBA. Shout out to the FBA. And also, if you're not subscribed, check out Street Media TV. I think the bull is over there in Philly. And since we got the big FBA Philly, before I get into the video, are you team Easy to Block Captain, the Pottsville Pigeon? Or are you Cassidy, the energy, the problem, the hustler? Let me know. I need to get a true Philly perspective. But I know Philly got some hitters. E Ness, Reed Dollars. I even like top four Loot. Bro is pretty dope. You said that's the homie. Okay, yeah. Salute to Philly, bro. Also, News is out there. So yeah, Philly got some hitters out there. I still like OG Oskino, but yeah. But I'm gonna start getting into it. Y'all seen the title, y'all seen the thumbnail. So let's get into it. I do have some information, so just give me uno momento, and I'm gonna pull this up like so. I was trying to figure out which story I wanted to start with. So I'll start with the Afroman story, just in case y'all haven't heard about it. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Let me just share my screen like so. Bada boom, bada bam. So just in case y'all didn't know, let me pull this down and let me pull this down. Just in case y'all didn't know, the Grammy nominated artist Afroman, he was just in a recent civil case in a kerfuffle, is what I'll call it, with the deputies. Let me pull this down so y'all can see this clearly, and then I'll pull it back up. So, and I can make this bigger for y'all. So this started off in 2022. I'm giving y'all a prelude to the story. In August 2022, 7 deputies from the Adams County Sheriff's Office raided Afroman's Ohio home with guns drawn. That sounds pretty terrifying, right? How many times does this have to happen, right? Officers claim to be searching for drugs and evidence of a kidnapping or trafficking, none of which was found. So which one was it? Was it kidnapping or trafficking? Oh, we don't know. We was just searching. It was an alleged anonymous tip. And this is what I'm saying about allegations, right? Sometimes, when people say things like believe all women or, believe all victims, right? Things like that. Now, this has set a precedence that anyone could allege anything, and some people get harassed. Some people get demonized. Some people get ostracized. Sometimes people get brutalized based off of allegation. Sometimes the allegations are true. There's also many times where the allegations are not. And after the allegations are proven false, it's just like, oops, my bad. We get it wrong sometimes, right? And this is one of those cases. So deputies seized cash, which was later returned, according to Afroman. Although they did take some of his cash, it's alleged that he said they stole $400 from him. And people could look and say, hey, Afroman is a wealthy person, right? Why is he tripping off $400, right? If you think $400 is not that much, then I'll write my Cash App. If any one of my mods could drop my Cash App in the chat. If you think $400 is not a lot, then just Cash App me that little bit of change. It will be greatly appreciated and it will go to great use. So yeah, they stole $400 from him and they illegally or irresponsibly raided his home, searching for evidence of kidnapping, human trafficking, and they painted him as some drug lord. They treated him as if he was Pablo Escobar. No charges were ever filed. However, there was damage psychologically to his kids, his family, and there was property damage. And this fits a well-documented pattern. Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, are disproportionately subjected to aggressive raids, militarized policing, and baseless suspicion. See, someone could suspect, oh, look at that nigger. I suspect that he's human trafficking. So they can call an anonymous tip and they say, hey, look, we thought someone was being kidnapped, so we just broke into your house, right? Traumatized your kids, but so what? Get over it. Don't be a victim, right? This is part of a broader system of anti-Blackness, which is embedded and entrenched in U.S. policing practices. So number 2, the point. Turning surveillance into speech, Afroman's response. So Afroman did what was brilliant. He took this traumatic situation and he capitalized on it. He not only capitalized from it, he monetized it. So instead of Afroman staying silent, he used his own home security footage to create music videos, most famously Lemon Pound Cake. So go look up the song and support the brother. He has a song out called Lemon Pound Cake. Now, Afroman is known, it's reported that bro is a real boy in the streets. Like, he is a reputable figure in the streets. He has respect from the grassroots as well. So he does a lot of satirical, goofy, funny songs, but he is a brother that means serious business when it's time to conduct and stand on business. But the reason that is alleged for the Lemon Pound Cake is because on the footage, one of the officers, one of the irresponsible, immature officers who irresponsibly raided his house, he has some delicious lemon pound cake
on the counter, and the officer was eyeing it like he wanted to have a slice. Now, I don't know if there's footage of him having a slice, but I think he just jokes about him liking it. And on the side note, lemon cake is delicious. Now, I don't always eat lemon pound cake. I don't eat a lot of cake, but like lemon cake is delicious. That's on a side note. So maybe I can't even hold the officer. I see why he was like, bro was hungry. Maybe there's a stereotype of cops liking donuts. Maybe they really love lemon pound cake. So go support the brother, right? So these videos went viral, transforming a traumatic event into a cultural moment. And that's what we do. There wouldn't be no USA without FBA. We are the pulse. We are the culture. We are the source. And that is not to denigrate or disparage anyone. It's just a statement of fact. And luckily, because we have what the Honorable Tariq would say, Mejorar spirit, we like to include everyone. See, we don't mind being all inclusive, inviting people to the cookout, which, you know, much to my chagrin, but we don't mind being all inclusive. It's just don't take the kindness for weakness, right? We'll set the cultural norms and standards that anyone could partake in. It's just don't forget who the originator is. It's like, let's all enjoy this together. Don't try to colonize and monopolize something that you know you didn't create, that you're just leeching and tethering onto. So shout out to Afroman for taking this traumatic situation and turning it into something that was profitable for his family and that was big for his reputation. But not only him standing on business wasn't just for him and his family, it was for anyone that is a free speech advocate and champion, right? So the courtroom battle, this is a free speech on trial. So this was all in 2022, and this leads up into now the case, which was a couple days ago. So in March 2026, an Ohio jury sided with Afroman, affirming that he had the right to use the footage in his art. The verdict was a decisive rejection of the deputy's attempt to suppress his expression. See, these deputies, many of them usually have been involved, and I'm not saying these specific deputies, but many deputies know about nationwide policing, nationwide white supremacist gangs, nationwide cop gangs where they're calling black people everything but a child of God. But you know what the most prominent word they call us? Nigger, 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 right? They always call us that. We're supposed to get over that and stop whining. Don't be a victim. However, Afroman makes a satirical song about them eyeing lemon pound cake. Everything he said was facts, right? Now, he did add some satire in there, but that's the whole thing of freedom of speech, to be comedic. He wasn't stating it as a fact. It was an art form, right? Which you're entitled to. It's constitutionally protected. And I am glad that the jury sided with the Constitution and protected that free speech. So this wasn't just a win for Afroman. This was a win for all of the free speech advocates. I'm a free speech absolutist. Even if I don't like the speech, I believe that you have the right to say it. And I actually prefer people to say it because then it lets you truly know what people feel. Some people see black people as niggers, but they will never say it. I'd rather that person say it, not because I want to hear people disparaging people like that, but now I know that this is a disgusting, grotesque human being that I want nothing to do with, right? Versus this person pretending to be, hey buddy, hey pal, we're the same, buddy. I judge you by the content of your character, not the color of your skin, nigger. Oops, my bad. The Freudian slip. You know what I mean? Like, nah, if someone is coming to stab you, wouldn't you want to see it coming versus you turn around and they stab you in the back? So I'm not condoning for the stabbing. I'm not condoning for anyone to be disparaged and called derogatory names. However, if the derogatory names are going to be said, say it to my face, right? The systemic context of anti-blackness and policing, right? There's always this presumption of guilt. So this raid was based on anonymous allegations that evaporated quickly under scrutiny. They used a militarized force against black civilians like they always do. Guns drawn, property seized, yet no charges. So they came in there, tore down his house, property damage that they're not paying for. They're saying, hey, well, you're rich or you're wealthy or you're successful. Pay for it your own self, nigger, right? They don't care that his kids were traumatized. No charges, but yet they still took his money. And then when they gave his money back, they shorted him $400 that he's just supposed to get over. So he's supposed to pay for the repairs of his house that they destroyed. He's supposed to just take that on the chin. It was only $400. If it was only $400, why'd you steal it? The deputies sued him for using the footage of their own actions for $3.9 million. You want to talk about victim? Someone cue the tiny violin, right? Black people allegedly have a victim mindset, but deputies couldn't handle them being caught on camera. Huh? Make it make sense. The lawsuit functioned as a form of intimidation. They wanted him to back down, but instead, no. Bro is a big FBA. He's a big Cali, not one of the from the Sambo class. He's from that stand on business class, right? So before I play a little bit of the video and transition to the next, the triumph, why this case matters for everyone. Afroman's victory is more than a personal win. It represents a triumph for Black resistance. We have been the only ones truly standing up and standing on business for what's right for this country, even though we've been used as political doormats and mules to carry out and put forth everyone else's agenda. We've been doing it for the betterment of society, right? That's why even right now, there's a lot of hoopla surrounding Cesar Chavez, right? And they keep talking about him being a civil rights activist. But then when they get down to it, they say, oh, all the work that he done for the Mexican community, for the Mexican farm workers, and he was championing Mexican this and Mexican that and Chicano this and Chicano that. I'm not Chicano. I'm not Mexican, right? So he was widely celebrated as a civil rights activist, but dude was fighting for his community, which there's nothing wrong with it, right? But you see the difference. Foundational Black American fight for civil rights, which is an all lives matter, rising tide, lift all boats thing. We were the ones getting brutalized. However, the rights that we fought for benefited everyone else more. I always asked the person, I said, who is the Mexican version of MLK? And I guess it was Cesar Chavez. He was Mexican Luther King, right? But before I was asking them and no one could name it. This is why every time someone wants to quote a leader, they're quoting Malcolm X, they're quoting Fred Hampton, all of the Black civil rights leaders. Okay, fine. We already know them. Quote the Mexican civil rights leader. Because I know I'll quote Cesar Chavez, and he was calling illegal immigrants wetbacks. Who was the Asian version of MLK? Don't worry, I'll wait. Who is the Asian Fred Hampton? So we have a culture of resistance. We always have. And as much as people try to call it woke and hate on it, our resistance benefits everyone. So you should be championing and you should be funding and encouraging us to continue to resist, because we're not resisting just because we're victims or we're lazy. We're resisting so that we can create the utopia that people pretend that this country is. It's a great country, but it can be a lot better. This is a triumph for free speech. The jury affirmed that citizens have the right to document, critique, and satirize police actions, even when police officers dislike the portrayal. So know your rights, people. Know your rights. So let me go ahead and stop pulling this up. And it looks like The chat has been chatting. Hopefully, and like Miss Jackie says, help keep your bruh in the algorithm. Tap that like button. It won't cost you a fee. The likes are free. Civil is short for civilian, which is default, is universal. That's what I'm trying to say. So when they talk about like Mexicans, they'll like, this person fought for Chicano rights. I'm not a Chicano, so those rights they were fighting for weren't for me. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have fought for those rights, but just stop pretending that it's the same. Just say you don't have anyone that stacks up to the resume and even all of the stuff, because people try to tear down before I still pull up the Afroman, because I'm still talking about him. Now that Cesar Chavez, it's alleged that the dude was a pedophile, right? A predatory pedophile. Now they're saying, what about MLK, huh? There were no pedophile accusations. There were some allegations of him cheating, but like his wife always held him in high regard. So even if he cheated, which there's no documentation that that's true, it's just allegations and slander. So what? I mean, Trump cheated on his wife and became president. So are we going to try to pretend that if MLK allegedly cheated, that he's just this horrible person? What's worse, someone allegedly cheating or someone allegedly being a pedophile who touches kids? Which one is worse? Y'all let me know. So let me pull this video up real quick. I'm going to just only play a little bit of it. But I gave y'all the prelude to the discussion.
Joseph Foreman, known as Afroman, has won a defamation lawsuit filed by 7 Ohio sheriff's deputies. They sued him over music videos that used home security footage to mock them over a 2022 raid of his home.
They show rifle-wielding deputies busting down his door, searching his shoes, eyeing a cake on the kitchen table, inspiring the song Lemon Pound Cake. There are a lot more details in this. So we're going to bring in our chief legal analyst, Kali Frode. So all jokes aside, this case is really testing the limits of parody,
yes,
and artists taking creative liberties, but also targeting public figures in doing that.
You're all over it. So the first portion is First Amendment, and that's his defense, that's his defense to this claim, specifically that this is satire, kind of like Weird Al Yankovic back in the day. I have the right to create art, and then I can make commentary to the art. And if you don't like the commentary that I'm creating, that because it's talking about you or mocking you, you don't have now a right to sue. And so that was his first claim. The second claim is that public figure. If you're going to say that I defamed you, first of all, if you're non-public figure, it just has to be that you knew that it was a false statement, and that's it. But because they're public figures, this actual malice needs to be proved, that he had intent to harm them. The jury found zero for that they had an intent to harm him. And so by all means, this case should have never been brought. If they would have been properly advised, they would have advised them that the First Amendment argument, there's absolutely zero chance. And then it would be hinging on a 50-50 chance if you were decided to be a public figure or not. And there is clear case law that officers, officials are public figures. And so it would have been a hard conversation for them to hear if they wanted to bring the claim. But it's important that attorneys do that, advise individuals that what's the likelihood of you being successful and what's the likelihood of you failing. This right here was a waste of money because both of those claims had no chance of going forward.
Interesting.
Afroman used the officer's images from his own home security camera. This is his own footage to make these videos go viral, to create videos and merchandise. How much control do officers have over their public likeness when footage is coming from a personal private home?
Zero. Zilch, zippo, none.
Wow.
You have zero expectation to privacy in my home. You're in my home. You came in there and now you dropped down any type of expectation of privacy. Before you walked into the home, as an officer, as a public figure, your expectation of privacy is even limited than that. Than say you or I walking down the street. If you're in a public place, there's lowered expectation of privacy. Once you go into a person's private residence, there is no expectation of privacy because they can be recording you on their device. They can be recording you on their cameras inside their home, and you have no control over that because, again, you're in their home.
And some of the deputies bringing this case, they said that they were getting harassed. Even children at school were getting harassed and coming home crying. And that might not have amounted in this case, but is there any situation where the repercussions would have said, okay, hey, yeah, this is a situation where we need some compensation here?
Absolutely. There are times when the facts would have been on their side, just not in this case. Great fact would have been if they were non-public figures and the individual would have, or they would have been able to show that there was actual malice, text messages, emails, something, or statements to other people saying, I'm going to harm them, I'm going to hurt them. Afroman specifically saying, you know, I'm going to create this video so that I can bring them down and I can cause them financial harm. If they would have found some smoking gun like that, then yes, they by all means would have been able to point to, you've done this video, I have actual harm with my children, and you had the actual malice with the intent to harm me. But they weren't able to prove that. And if you go back a couple steps, remember, they raided his home, charging kidnapping, alleging that there was drug trafficking, and no charges were brought. And so there's harm on both sides. For your home to be raided is already an invasion. And so you're going to come into this individual's house, find nothing, and then deal with the consequences that now come with, okay, he's got videos that he has the opportunity to cut because he has the resources and he's kind of famous.
Khalif, looking forward as more and more people are recording, please.
So there you have it. Afroman was standing on business. So salute to him, representing for free speech. So he should definitely be commended for that. And I'm going to transition into the next story. This one, I'm actually excited and proud of the community. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Just give me 1 second. And actually, hold on. If y'all haven't liked the stream yet, please take the time to like the stream. I'm going to pull up another screen. Just give me... Hold on. Sorry about that. I was going to hit y'all with a visual, but nah, I'm going to just pull it up right now. Okay, so if y'all can see this right here, this is a Kickstarter. So a Kickstarter is where people could, it's kind of like a GoFundMe or a crowdfundme, right? So Tariq Nasheed, the Honorable Tariq Nasheed, whether you love him, hate him, this isn't about him. I really don't care if you like him. I support the brother, but this isn't about him. This is about group economics. So what I want to show is that he's releasing a film called Hidden Color 6. He already has a multitude of them. Clearly, he has five previous ones, and this one is called Hidden Color 6, The Culture of Resistance. Now, he had a crowdfunding goal of $250K. Now, that's a lofty goal, and I don't think he really set that much time to do it. Maybe it was like a month or less than a month. I don't know. But this was funded with 3,240 backers. So if you look at the population, and I'm not just talking about the foundational Black American population, the collective population of melanated people are in the tens of millions and millions. And with 3,000 people, he was able to fund this project with some change on it. And, you know, I put some change on it too, right? You know, and let me just show y'all what this kind of looks like. If you want to get a shout out, a social media shout out, you drop a $75. Now you can drop whatever you want. You can drop $5-10. If you want to get, and I think it actually ended, so you won't be able to you won't be able to donate anymore because the goal has been reached. However, when the DVD comes out on Blu-ray, I suggest that you guys do support the community. Right now, you have Trump actively working to tear down an attempt to erase history. He can't erase the history because it's all already there. And not only that, you know, when they say they should have never gave you niggas money, I say they should have never gave you niggas AI. Because even if they try to take it out, all of these new smartphones come with AI programmed on them, and you can tell them to do a deep dive and find it. Now, AI is not infallible. It makes mistakes, but it's smarter than the majority of humans, right? So as much as they're trying to take it out of the school, it's really up to us to teach the history. The school is teaching a whitewashed, sanitized, G-rated version of a story that may be TVMA or rated R, right? So we don't need the sanitized version. We need our kids to know the rated R version of what happened, but done in a constructive way, not just to fearmonger, but to prepare them for what's ahead and to know how to overcome the obstacles. So I'm extremely proud of the community because people like to say, we don't stick together. This is a form of sticking together. People will show fight videos, twerk videos, how someone is inappropriately dressed at the rodeo. But then when we have stories, when we stick together, some people will look at them, they'll tip their hat to it, but they won't talk about it. They won't elaborate on it. They won't go into the weeds and talk about how complex and how culturally relevant and astonishing this is, right? But then they'll talk about chicks twerking like chicks twerking is nothing new. Go to every country, continent, there's going to be some chick twerking, right? But they try to frame it as a cultural thing so we can go on and make the content and frame black women as a certain way. And here, let's frame and blame black men a certain type of way. No, how about we praise each other for sticking together and coming together on this project? And it wasn't all of us. It wasn't even 1%. 3,240 backers. That's not even 1% of our entire population. Realistically, you don't need the entire population to get on board. So when people say, well, not everybody uses the term FBA, you don't need the term. If you're at 3 to 5%, that can become a critical mass, right? When they were out there getting dog sicked on them and beat for civil rights, it wasn't the entire black community out there. It was maybe 5% or less. I'm not saying the other people didn't agree with the sentiments, but a lot of people are saying, you know what, these white folks ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just happy I'm not getting lynched. So there's a lot of people that try to watch from the sideline and watch and let other people do stuff, right? People will get mad at Tariq. Man, this nigga's a grifter. He's all this other type of stuff. Okay, well then, if he's a grifter and he's outperforming you in terms of organizing, in terms of putting out things that are culturally relevant for our community, things that are galvanizing our community. If he's an alleged grifter, why are you letting a grifter outperform you? What does that make you? If he's a grifter and he's succeeding, then that means you're a failure. Unless you're trying to say that the community is just deficient and incompetent and we're dumb for no, you're dumb for voting Democrat. You're dumb for bootlicking for the Republicans. You're dumb for crashing out for political parties. Anyone, I don't agree with everything that Tariq says. If Tariq listens to me, he's not going to agree with everything I say. But these are kind of foolish roadblocks that are unnecessary. People don't agree with their wife or husband 100%. So why would you even hold Tariq or some other activist or public figure to that standard? I don't want to agree with him on this. Yeah, but you agree with him on 90% of the other stuff. So you want to fixate on the 10% to try to tear the brother down? Fine. You want to tear him down. What are you putting in place, right? You see that they're actively trying to destroy our history, saying that we have no culture, right? Trying to equate us to immigrants. And then you have someone standing up for it. And the only thing some people can say, that nigga grifting, This nigga didn't force 3,240 people to donate. People believe in it, right? And this is to uplift the community. There's nothing divisive about it. You know what I mean? So salute to him and salute to the community. This is us sticking together. This is us pooling our resources. With 261, he made 261,760. His goal was 250. So a little, almost 12K, over the thing, right? So with the 3,000 backers, that's an average donation of about $75 to $80. So a lot of cats be talking about how they be balling and other stuff, bro. You got $80, bro. So yeah, salute to the community. Check this out. Hidden Color 6, The Return of the Real. The saga continues. Why this film and why now? We are living in a time where books are being banned, history is being rewritten, and the contributions of foundational Black Americans are being systemically scrubbed from the record. Hidden Color 6, The Culture of Resistance, is the answer to that erasure. This isn't just a history lesson. It is a survival guide. This film goes deeper than we have gone before. We are moving beyond just identifying the problem. We are exploring the specific methods our ancestors used to survive, thrive, and fight back against the impossible odds. And one of these things is just everyone chipping in, doing a little bit. Some people are going to do a lot more. If you look at this, for the $75 pledge, 185 people. When you look at the pledge for 100, 575 backers. Like I said, nobody is looking at the person that, oh, nigga, you only donated 75. Oh, man, get that little weak shit. No, it's like, bro, thank you. That helps contribute to the greatness. This person who donated $100 is not better than this person who donated 75. You got 241 people who donated $200. You got 85 people who donated $300. You got 28 people who donated $500. You got 21 people who donated $1,500. You got 3 people who donated $5,000. So we don't all need to donate $5,000, but we can all come together, chip in and put some on it. If I'm throwing a barbecue, or like we like to say, a barbecue, if I'm throwing a barbecue, I might have brought the ribs, I brought the tri-tips, I brought the chicken, I brought the links, you know what I mean? You may have brought the paper plates, the forks and the cups, right? Now that's not really the same as everything I bought, but I didn't bring no plates. So we need some plates to eat all this good cooking, right? So the contributions, all of these contributions matter. All contributions matter. And I do got some merch coming out. All slurs matter, dropping soon. But yes, this is how you practice group economics. This is the greatness of our community, of us coming together. How many people are going to share and talk about this story in this positive light? Even when he got the Hidden History Museum, which people donated to, there's no gun to anyone's head forcing them to donate. They believe in Tariq's message and mission, and they donate. That's what liberty is. You have the freedom to express yourself. You have the freedom to spend your dollars and donate your dollars where you want them to. So the Honorable Tariq, I think he should be commended, but I think the community should definitely be commended, because it's the community who's in that DVD giving us the game. And it's the community who band together, pulled the resources, and made that project possible, right? So if we all pitch in a little bit, it can go a long way. And let me also, give me one moment, I'm going to pull up one other thing, just so we can talk about group economics, right? because you know we're here to learn. I'm here to teach, but I'm here to learn as well. So here are some ways that we can practice group economics. Now, these are just like kind of the basics. The numbers could be different. I'm just giving y'all like the basic concept of it. So don't pay attention to the specific numbers, right? The numbers could be substituted. The 100 could be substituted with 1,000 or $10 or whatever. So one thing that you can create, and mind you, these are practical methods to pool resources. Not only could you use Kickstarter funds like the GoFundMe and the other forms of crowdfunding, but people have to trust you, right? And Tariq does have a certain level of trust with the community, right? There's certain people, whether you don't like them, they've developed a following of people that trust, and people invest in what they trust. And I don't think it's wrong to invest in someone that you trust. And it doesn't mean that you're going to agree with them on everything, because people invest in stocks of companies that wouldn't hire them. They invest in stocks of things that sometimes the CEOs are saying racist stuff about black people, but then people are willing to compartmentalize and say, yeah, they don't like niggas, but you know what? I'm still going to invest, you know, because I see the value and I trust that this particular product or this particular stock is going to bring me more value, right? So we got to do more things to build up camaraderie and to show that we trust each other. And it's a lot of like simple life skills that you learned in school. Treat others the way you want to be treated, right? It sounds simple and cliche, and it's like, yeah, I know that already. It doesn't matter what you know, it matters what you practice. So you know that you should be treating others the way you want to be treated, but sometimes people treat others like crap. It's the same way how people, you know, may drive a rental car a little bit more recklessly than they would drive their car. You know what I mean? It's a rental car. Drive it like it's stolen. Drive it like it's stolen, you know? Drop it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. You know what I mean? That's what it means. It's like, it's not my car. You know, I might swing it. I might yoke it, dip it. You know what I mean? But so a rotating savings and credit association. So a group of people who contribute a set amount of money regularly. Each cycle, one member receives the entire pot. So how it works, for example, 10 people, $100 a month. Everyone puts $100. 1 month, everyone puts in $100. That equals $1,000 pool. Person A gets $1,000. Month 2, everyone puts in $100. Equals $1,000 pool. Person B gets $1,000. Continue until everyone has received the pot once. So that's a way that you can definitely pool the resources and ensure. Most people are spending $100 on something frivolous anyways a month. So if you're willing to invest in a group of people that you trust, you know, the benefits of that, are you forced to save and be disciplined? You'll have access to lump sums of money without bank loans or credit checks. There will be no interest payments. Trust, what have I been talking about? Trust built among members, cultural tradition in many communities. The keys to success: you must choose trustworthy members, have clear written agreements, not just a handshake or a trust me, bro. Regularly schedule meetings. There should be consequences for non-payment. Start small and scale up. So it may start off at 100 a month and turn into 200 and turn into 500. But remember, this is a cycle. The pot is going to keep flowing, and there's going to be some level of consequence for non-payment. Now we can establish what that is. You know what I mean? And Roger Meadows, I don't know if he's asleep or if he's still in the chat, but he knows what I'm talking about. Credit unions and community banks. member-owned financial institutions that serve the community, not external shareholders. How this works, members deposit money, institution loans money to other members at fair rates. Profits return to the members through dividends at better and better rates, focused on community development, not maximizing profit. So you're not trying to get rich. You're trying to make everyone else live comfortably, right? This is not so one person could have a Lambo. This is so we could all have Corvettes, right? Why this matters. Traditional banks often don't serve low income or minority communities well. Community controlled banking keeps money circulating locally. Better loan terms for members, investment in community projects. So the action steps would be joining existing community credit unions. If none exists, form one, which requires organizing, but it is not impossible. You move your money from the big banks to the community institutions. So all of the direct deposit that you have hooked up for your job, all of the money you have in Chase and Wells Fargo, you have to move that, right? In this scenario, if you wanted to pool your resources in this way. Worker co-ops, right? So worker cooperatives, the employees own and run the business together. The profits are shared among the workers. The decision making is done democratically. And examples are Cooperative Home Care Associates in the Bronx and the Mondragon Corporation in Spain. So y'all can look those up for examples of worker co-ops. There's also consumer cooperatives where customers own the business collectively. They buy goods and services at better prices. Profits are returned as dividends. And some examples are REI, other food and housing corporations. So how you would start, identify a need in your community, childcare, grocery store, cleaning services. These are common things that almost everyone needs. Gather the interested, like-minded people. Obviously, there has to be a vetting process going on. Not just someone that you think, oh, this person is tall or she's fine and she got a BBL. Can't just be anyone that's interested. It has to be someone that's interested, committed, determined, but also has the acumen and the propensity for activism and for selflessness. So you're pooling the initial investment, establishing a democratic governance structure. There has to be rules. There has to be some sort of governing body, some sort of hierarchical structure, right? You starting the operations and then you reinvest profits into growth and the member benefits, right? And these are just the extreme basics. And some people will say, well, I know this already. Well, if you know, then why haven't you built anything? Like, it would be better if you said, oh, I did know, and thank you for putting me on some game. Because if you did know, then what excuse do you have for not building anything? You don't have to build everything, but you haven't built anything. And you always notice when it's people who's always talking about the black community this, the black community that, the black community don't do this. It's kind of like someone who walks through the hood, throws trash on the ground and say, man, don't nobody pick up trash here. Like, did you pick up any trash? Not only did you not pick up any trash, you threw a bunch of trash down while whining about other people who don't pick up trash. Maybe they're just following your lead. Did you think if you picked up 6 pieces of trash, maybe somebody else might pick up 6 pieces, but you assume that they won't. So then you just throw a bunch of pieces of trash on the ground and you're leading to this community being trashy with your trashy behavior and your trashy mentality. So why are you blaming other people? Because other people who say, you know what, I recognize the problem, and this is what I'm going to do to rectify the problem. This is what I'm going to do to present a solution, and not just any solution, a viable solution that I know that will be successful, right? Hopping on podcasts and whining about an issue is not action, it's content. And it usually does make for entertaining content for many of the brain dead and the buck broken. But the people who stand on business, they're not just sitting there hearing people whine about things that they're unwilling to do. Imagine someone's on the practice field every day putting in work to make his team better. Even if that team stinks, they're on the field every day to make the team better. Would you respect them, someone who's on a underperforming team, who's actively working to change the fortunes of that team, or someone who's behind a TV screen, a laptop, in an air-conditioned office talking about, man, this team sucks and this team is never going to go anywhere, and this team. But if this team is a failure, why are you whining about it, right? Just let that team fail. And what exactly are you winning? If a team is failing or a community is failing, how do you win by talking about that community? See, if I've seen a community failing, I'll say, how could I help that community? Not how could I talk about that community? If I seen someone with an alleged high IQ or a low IQ, is what I meant to say, I would say, what could I do to help this person gain more knowledge, acumen? I won't just say, hey, person's just born like that. It is what it is. I see a starving kid. I don't look at them and say, hey, maybe I can feed your cousin for 50 cents. I say, you know what? 50 cents is not enough. And I got some extra food. But it seems like other groups, when they look at a demographic, even if you take into all the stereotypes, this group is so depraved and so degenerate. How does you mocking, demonizing, and ostracizing that group, how does that help them change? Right? Because you try to say that that this group is low IQ, and you want to sometimes infantilize them. Well, is that what you would do to a kid? A kid that doesn't know any better, a kid that's low IQ, right? A kid that's just too stupid to figure things out. Do you think you're gonna help that kid learn by just yelling at them all the time how stupid the kid is? Surely that's gonna change the fortunes, right? If a kid is bad and you just say, you're a bad kid, you're a bad kid, you're a bad kid, do you think that kid is going to suddenly become a good kid because you tell the kid how bad they are every day? Or do you think that the kid is going to internalize how bad they are and embrace the role of being a problem child? Fair questions to ask. But why does this group economics matter? It keeps wealth in the community. It creates quality jobs with dignity. You have a democratic control over your economic life, and it's more stable than traditional businesses. And these are what we're talking about in terms of the consumer cooperatives and the worker cooperatives. And these are considered the basics of practicing group economics. I'm not saying everything is just going to be easy because it is a basic concept. It will be hard to get people on the same page, but it's not impossible. So community land trust, a community land trust is when the community owns land collectively. Individuals own businesses and homes on that land. So how it works is community organization purchases land. They hold it in a perpetual trust for the community benefit. They lease the land to homeowners and renters at affordable rates, typically a 99-year lease. And if a home is sold, resale price is capped to maintain affordability. Land never sold stays community controlled forever. And the benefits of this, it removes land from speculative markets. It keeps housing affordable permanently. It prevents gentrification and displacement, which is rampant in Black communities, which is a form of a sanitized version of ethnic cleansing, right? This will also build community equity, and the homes remain affordable for future generations. And many of the people in the silent generations and the boomers, many of those people who got their houses for $15K, $20K, $50K, they're sitting on houses now that are worth $2 million, $4 million, and they're wondering why people are not getting their lives started. We need more white babies. That's what Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson says. You're not going to get a bunch of white babies if they know that they can't afford a home, which is why there's been an influx of millions and millions of immigrants so that they can have the babies, right? They have more of an incentive to have a baby, especially if they came here and they're undocumented. They know that their kids will grant them citizenship. Meanwhile, the native population, many of them were taught that, hey, you don't want to be like the irresponsible blacks, keep having all these babies out of wedlock. They're welfare queens. Look at Shaniqua with 5 kids. So some people be like, damn, I don't want to be like them. And I mean, I could barely take care of myself. So I'd rather just YOLO, live my best life rather than bring a kid into this world, which they already know how expensive it is to raise a kid, let alone get school clothes, diapers, then trying to put your kid through college. Not only that, we're talking about family trips. If we're talking about medical care, if something, your kid needs a procedure, right? So some people are opting out from it, not because, you know, they hate kids or they've just been detached from home ownership. It's just many of the older generation have made it out of reach, all in the name of equity, right? Remember, people used to say, oh, I'm going to get a starter home. There's no such thing as a starter home now. The average home cost around America over $450,000. Does that sound like a starter home to you? So let me get ready. It looks like the chat has been chatting. You know, I kind of went on my harangue, so I wasn't able to listen. Oh, but it looks like the hood table. Shout out to the hood table. She pulled up. And Roger says these organizations focus on creating democratic workplaces, reducing wealth gaps, providing resources to navigate the legal, financial aspects of starting a cooperative business in California. So salute to Roger. Roger is over there dropping a lot of stuff. And Miss Jackie says facts. So yeah, we can all practice these group economics. If we all contribute a little, it can go a long way. So I'm going to get ready to pull up another video. Just give me uno momento. Oops, my bad. I muted myself. While I'm putting this video up, I'm going to hit y'all with a quick visual so that I can pull this video up. So give me uno momento. Yeah, thanks, Tutneys. I had accidentally muted myself. So give me one moment. I'm going to just hit y'all with a visual so I can pull this other video up. Thank you.
That is nasty, bro, like a nasty hoe. I got a nasty flow. My baddie, though, is a classy pro. I manage her and she escort. International exports. I got hardware, my tech support. Really about that business, cause I'm that dude, but you just adore. Used to be on that block, equipped with a Glock. I sold all kind of dope. 10 toes down on the pavement. I send that bitch like an envelope. Enclosed with a love letter. I love cheddar, so I grind hard. I be putting that work in, but I ain't punching no time card. When it comes to being a boss, nigga, I am the epitome. You keep hating, belly aching, but it takes more to get rid of me. I am full of energy, but I ain't feeling jittery. I'm just grinding, shining like a diamond, looking glittery. Literally, I just left the bank to deposit racks. Holla back, don't want no shoes and clothes because my closet's packed. I got hella different kicks just like Lionel Messi. Still be rocking Jordans, but I prefer Giuseppe. Peace.
And we are back at it. So it seems that people are still confused on the differences of race, ethnicity, and nationality. And before anyone tries to say that race is a social construct, ethnicity and religion are also social constructs, and nationality is a social construct. So you can't have it both ways. So if you say that race is a biological reality, then you would have to admit that there's no race called Mexican, Latino, Puerto Rican, etc. And if you say that race is a social construct, it's made up, then that would mean that not only is race made up, ethnicity and nationality is made up. All are social constructs. So I'm going to react to this video from Ricardo Ignacio. This video is titled, I Look White, but I'm really Mexican. So many people, when you ask them, hey, what race are you? I'm Mexican. No. I ask, what race are you? I'm Latino. No, I ask, what race are you? Race is a social construct. It turns into that. Look, there's nothing wrong with being a proud Mexican, a proud Latino, but people adhere to social constructs. No one is forced to. Society has conformed to it because race was imposed on people by violent, terroristic people, right? But since people adhere to it, and many people are not trying to really go against race, they just want a comfortable position in the stratification of race, right? Which is why, and we're talking about Mexicans because this person is Mexican. This is about Mexicans, but this applies to other Latin and Hispanic groups and other non-melanated immigrant groups as well, right? There's nothing wrong with identifying as your ethnicity, your culture, and your nationality. But there is a racial construct that people adhere to, not only in America, but in their homelands. And we can't afford to let people off the hook and pretend as if they don't know. And if you don't know, that's fine. Just zip the lips, have a seat, and let me school you. And then if you do know, then why the flip are you playing like an idiota? So let's get into the video. I look white, but I'm really Mexican. If you look white, 9.99 times out of 10 is because you probably are white. And I may have to pull it up, but the prominent members of LULAC fought for Mexicans to be legally, racially classified as white. On the census, they were going to give Mexicans their own racial group. And they said, hell to the no. Hell to the no. We are white. Don't take my word for it. Look it up.
Girls, well, they're kind of still there. And I was just like listening to like their chisme, but this literally has to do what I was talking about in my last video. So that's why I thought it was so funny. They were like basically saying to each other, like, this is just not what they thought.
And it looks like we've been joined by some illustrious guests, the 504 boy. Whoa, they New Orleans stepped off in here. Then we got the big C up in here, the illest Israelite on 2 feet. And we got Last Call, Mr. Midnight Soul himself from an undisclosed location somewhere in America, allegedly in a building. Let me hit y'all.
Mexico City would be like. Okay, so I'm in Mexico City, right? And I was just chilling, minding my own business. And there was a group of like 6 American girls. Well, they're kind of still there. And I was just like listening to like their chisme. But this literally has to do what I was talking about in my last video. So that's why I thought it was so funny. They were like basically saying to each other, like, this is just not what they thought Mexico City would be like. And another girl was like, no, yeah, I guess she's been here a couple times. But like 3 of them had never been here. It was their first time. But what was most embarrassing is that they literally caught me listening to their conversation. Y ahí bien chismosa. And so like we made eye contact and like smiled at each other. And one of the girls was like, "Oh, are you here on vacation?" And I was like, "No, I actually live here." And another girl was like, "Oh my God, how do you like living here as an American, like being white?" And I love when these do this to me because they always get so surprised. I'm like, "I'm actually not white, I'm Mexican." And they're like,
hold on a minute. Can I rewind that? Because sometimes I'll be hearing shit.
and I was like, "No, I actually live here." And another girl was like, "Oh my God, how do you like living here as an American, like being white?" And I love when these do this to me because they always get so surprised. I'm like, "I'm actually not white, I'm Mexican." And
My dear, not only are you white, but you're white as hell. In fact, so white that you look like you recently just arrived via the Mayflower. White. I'm actually not white, I'm Mexican. Do you understand how ignorant, how poor your education has to be to say such a silly thing like, actually, I'm not white, I'm Mexican? Mexican is not a race. White is a race. You are racially white, no matter where you're born. You are a European descendant that happens to be born in Mexico. If you would have been born in Colombia, your nationality is Colombian, but your race is still white and your origins is still European. There's nothing you can do to change the fact that you are white racially. There's nothing you can do to change the fact that you descend from Europe, no matter where you're born. You have to learn the difference between ethnicity, nationality, and race. Race is what you are phenotypically presenting. You are phenotypically white presenting, meaning that when society views you without knowing anything about you, they have no idea where you're born, but they identify a white person. And your experience itself, when those individuals spotted you and identified you as white, that's how race works. They identified a person that is racially white. You are white, there's nothing you can do about it. And being born in Mexico does not remove the fact that you are racially white. And it also does not remove the fact that you are a descendant of Europe. It's not like you're Native American, right?
they're like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do I mean?" And they were like, "Oh my God, we thought you were white. Si supieran que yo soy una güera aquí de rancho." Pero si...
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do I mean?" And they were like, "Oh my God, we thought you were white. Si supieran que yo soy una güera aquí de rancho." Pero si yo aquí bien...
Si supieran que yo soy una güera aquí del rancho. So that makes you what? More Mexican? Because you're from a rancho? That removes the fact that you're white somehow? Because you're from a rancho? So what if I am not from a rancho? That makes you more Mexican, less white than me? Well, how's this work, güera? These people are so ignorant. Let's rewind it again.
Because they always get so surprised. I'm like, "I'm actually not white, I'm Mexican." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do I mean?" And they were like, "Oh my God, we thought you were white. Si supieran que yo soy una güera aquí de rancho." Pero si yo aquí bien chismosa. But I love how they're like, "Oh my God, this is not what I thought Mexico City was like."
Ya, cabrona, pelos de lote. These people are crazy. It's offensive how uneducated they are. Let me translate that part towards the end. She said this, si supieran que yo soy del rancho. The way that that's used in the context in which it's used, it basically means if y'all only knew that I'm so poor. These white folks in Mexico, they think that the level of poverty somehow, some way equates to them being more Mexican. Let me give you a little history lesson on how and why you, white folks, are in Mexico to begin with. There are two types of white folks in Latin America, but in this particular case, we're going to narrow it down to Mexico, since this heifer is from Mexico. There's two types of white people in Mexico. One are the gringos, meaning the white American people that migrate to Mexico and start their lives over there and birth children, have a family in Mexico, making their white children Mexican by definition of nationality. Because technically, Mexican is literally only a nationality. It is not a race, it is not a blood. If you do a DNA test, there is no such thing as Mexican blood. It is nothing but a nationality, meaning that you have to be born in Mexico to be Mexican. That's all that Mexican is. And in this particular case, she happens to be born in Mexico. So she is Mexican. Now, that's one type of white folk that is from Mexico, that is Mexican. But then there's the other type of white folk in Mexico, and these are known as criollos. Criollos are the European descendants, typically from Spain. They are the offspring of colonizers that arrived here when the Spaniards were colonizing Latin America. They settled in and they birthed children, and these children became Mexican, etc. These are known as criollos. They are white people, European, that just happen to be born in a Latin American country, but in this particular case, we're going to narrow it down to Mexico. There is literally no other way to be white and Mexican other than the fact that you descend from Europe. There is no such thing as white people in Mexico unless one of your ancestors arrived from a European country. I mean, it's common sense, right? That's the way that white people also arrived to the United States. Well, when you look at Latin America, Latin American countries, there's plenty of white folks. All of them, 100% of them are white people, European descendants, criollos, offspring of colonizers. As a matter of fact, in Latin American countries, it's these type of Mexicans, of Latinos, just like in the United States. It's white folks in the United States that control the narrative, that control the macro media, that control the system, etc.
And this is why both parties don't mind pandering towards Latinos, right? This is why you hear all of this stuff. And this is nothing against Latinos. I'm just stating the plain obvious. There's no race called Latino. There's no race called Mexican. So if they can bring a bunch of people over here who will culturally identify, hold on, let me see where I'm at this video, 7:56, but where's this chick at? If they have a bunch of chicks like this at the bottom screen who ethnically could say they're Mexican, but everyone knows this is a white girl. So while they're checking the Hispanic box, they're also maintaining a white majority in this country. When she has kids, most likely it's going to be with someone as light as her or lighter than her, which will preserve the white majority. Since the native born whites are not having a bunch of kids, they want to bring over many of the lighter and brighter immigrants to have those kids. They're going to replenish the births somehow, right? And they've said a lot of this stuff openly, not as explicit, but, if you have a IQ above room temperature, you can read between the lines. But here you have this chick, this Mexican chick saying, I know white, I Mexican, but hold on, I gotta hit y'all with some scholarship, and there's nothing wrong with being white. It's just, why are you lying about it? Because when you're lying about things like that, now I have to question your IQ. Either you don't know that you're white, which I find that hard to believe, or you're just flat out lying. And why would you do that? So how many times do I have to reaffirm there's no race called Mexican? In the early 20th century, Mexicans were legally classified as white. How could they be classified as white if they weren't white. Interesting, right? So the classification was also challenged in 1935, the Andrade decision, where a federal judge ruled that Mexican immigrants could be restricted under the Immigration Act. It threatened their legal white status. So let me just get to this part right here. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So throughout the early mid 20th century, Mexican American civic leaders emphasized that Mexicans were Caucasian or white. This is what their leaders were saying. So at the height of civil rights, when we was getting our heads bashed in, they were saying, we don't want to ally with the Negro. Let him fight his own battle. They're going against our community, the other whites, which is why when I say, tell me the Mexican version of MLK, they have no one. Then they said Cesar Chavez, and he's been drugged through the mug right now as an alleged predatory pedophile. And even Cesar Chavez was calling illegal immigrants wetbacks. Cesar Chavez was fighting for Chicano rights. He wasn't fighting for civil rights. He wasn't fighting for universal policy to help my community, even though the Black Panthers and other Black activists were supporting and endorsing him, right? So many Mexicans claim that they wanted to be white as a protective strategy, claiming whiteness helped avoid segregation. So they didn't mind segregation. Now they're trying to frame a narrative that they went through Juan Crow. How could they have went through Juan Crow when they were classified as white? What they're saying is the whites accepted them into whiteness, but said, hey, they still were calling them wetbacks, spics, border hoppers, fresh off the boat. So as much as they adopted them into whiteness and said, hey, we'll elevate you as a buffer group above the niggas, y'all still not like us. So they didn't care about the segregation. They actually championed on the segregation to say, hey, we're not like those pinche mates. But then their only issue with the segregation is when the whites were saying, hell yeah, we don't like y'all. And then when the sign said no niggers were allowed, the Mexicans were okay. But when it said no niggers and no Mexicans and no wetbacks, then suddenly they start saying segregation is bad. And they didn't want to end segregation. They wanted segregation to remain. It's just they wanted to be treated like white people because they said, hey, legally we are white. This is heavily documented. But if you say all of this stuff now, that's easily provable, easily documented, somehow it will turn into accusations of xenophobia, even though I haven't said anything hateful, right? So LULAC, which was founded in 1929, this is the League of United Latin American Citizens. LULAC emphasized assimilation, American citizenship, and whiteness as a tool to combat discrimination. So they were tethering onto whiteness because some thought that, hey, or believed that I really am white because I come from European ancestry. And others were saying, hey, let's tether on to whiteness because it will give us some advantages in society, right? Why did this happen? At the time, U.S. racial systems were rigid and punitive. It was only black and white. It still kind of is. But this is why they're trying to muddy the water with people of color. And now they're saying Mexicans are people of color. But they don't tell you about the Mexicans who were fighting to be legally classified as white. So if they were legally classified as white, what color are they? AOC is a person of color. What color is AOC? The mayor of Boston, Mayor Wu, what color is she? Forget them. What color is J-Lo? What color is Lucy Liu? All of these people are supposed to be people of color, and no one can tell you what color they are. They're not brown and they're not yellow. What color is Bad Bunny? He's not brown. He's not yellow. He's not black, right? What color is Canelo Alvarez, right? So claiming whiteness was not about rejecting Mexican identity, but about navigating a legal system that punished non-white status. So rather than fighting that legal system that punished non-white people, they said, hey, let us just be white so we can't be punished. So while we were fighting for everyone, they were fighting to be legally as white because it would help their community. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done this. I'm saying we're not going to rewrite history and pretend that they're out there crashing out for us. No, they were crashing out for themselves. That's fine. Self-preservation. Just stop pretending as if the leaders of your community didn't shun the black community, say, kiss our culo. We are white. It's heavily documented, right? And if people purport themselves to be high IQ, how don't you know this? I don't have a bachelor's degree. I don't have a master's degree. I'm from the School of Hard Knocks. I graduated there, valedictorian. Many people, I'm sure you got an Ivy League, a degree. Are you a doctorate, right? How don't you know this? And if you do know this stuff, then why the flip are you pretending to act stupid, right? So Mexican Americans used whiteness strategically to secure access to citizenship, freedom from segregation, protection from discriminatory immigration laws, equal schooling and public services. So while they were fighting for this to strategically secure them for themselves, there was another demographic that was being denied human rights. Did they care? No, they cared more about fighting to be legally classified as white. That is fine. I'm not going to hold you. Just stop acting confused when I call you what you are, white. So let's get back into it.
Like, oh my God, how do you like living here as an American, like being white? And I love when these do this to me because I always get so surprised. I'm like, I'm actually not white, I'm Mexican. And
My dear, it's Mexican. All the macro media that control the system, it's have arrived, invaded, and colonized. They are the same. They run the same type of program. Don't be fooled by these white folks that were born in a Latin American country that come to the US talking about, oh no, I'm not white. I'm a Latina. I'm a Latino. I'm a Mexican, etc. I'm one of you guys. I'm a person of color. I'm a POC. No, these people are white. These people descend from Europe. These people are the colonizers and the oppressors in these Latin American countries. In fact, let me give you a great example of a few mainstream figures that are the representation of Latin America. These people right here, these are celebrities. These are the face of Latin America. This is what represents Latin America. You notice one thing in common? They're all white.
Oprah thought she was more Native American, and she turned out not to be. So what do you think that you are?
Probably more Native American.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You are 0% Sub-Saharan African, and you are 87% European.
Really? But does Spain count? Because Alba comes from Spain.
They are criollos, descendants of colonizers. And do not allow these people to ever trick you and deceive you that all of a sudden, somehow, some way, they're not white because they're born in Mexico or in a Latin American country and because they speak Spanish. As if speaking Spanish removes the fact that you're white. Remove the fact that you descend from Europe, when ironically, Spanish itself comes from a European country known as Spain. So somehow, some way, all of a sudden, because you speak Spanish, you're not white? That's your language. You brought that language here. The only reason that people that look like me speak it is because you brought that here and forced us to speak this language and violently prohibited us from speaking our native languages. That is the history of Latin American countries. None of us spoke Spanish. Not in Mexico, not in Puerto Rico, not in Cuba, not in Dominican Republic, not in Colombia, not in Peru, etc. We all had our Native American languages until people that look like this came and brought Spanish over here. And isn't it ironic that somehow, some way, speaking Spanish all of a sudden means that you're not white? It's almost like a white American person telling you, I'm not European. I speak English, bro. You understand how ridiculous that sounds? That's how it sounds to us when these white folks in Latin American countries talk about, I'm not white, I speak Spanish. And one of the things that causes me to roll my eyes all the way back is when people in the United States say things like, oh, Ricardo, but although they look white, because they're born in a Latin American country and they speak Spanish, the white people here in the United States, they don't treat them like white. That doesn't take away the fact that one, they're white racially. Two, they descend from Europe. So the problem here wouldn't be that white Americans are racist towards them. They're the same race. The problem here now is xenophobia. White Americans are very xenophobic, even towards people that look just like them, but because they happen to be from another country and speak a different language, they discriminate against them. This is not a racial issue. They are the same race. This is a xenophobic issue. A lot of people reach out to me all the time, DMing me, expressing things like, hey, Ricardo, how come a lot of Latinos, they want to be white? It's because a lot of Latinos are, in fact, white. Most of those Cubans you see in Miami, they're white. They're European descendants. They're criollos that just happen to be born in Cuba, just happen to be born in Puerto Rico, just happen to be born in Mexico, in Colombia, in Peru, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and you get the drift. These people are European descendants. They are criollos, the offspring of colonizers. They are not our people. Us, brown people of Latin American countries, we are not the same race. We don't have the same lineage. We don't have the same root. Their root is in Europe. Our root is here. Oh, Ricardo, but you're all born in the same country. If you're black and you're born in the United States, you mean to tell me you're the same people, the same race as them white folks? Because you're born in the same country, you speak the same language, you go to the same schools, etc.? No. So apply the same logic to Latin America and or Latin American countries, and you will understand why there are so many people that look white but are from Latin American countries. There is no such thing as I only look white, but I'm not really white. I'm actually Mexican. No such thing as that. You are white. You just happen to be born in a Latin American country. Where you are born does not determine what your race is. Your race is determined by your phenotype, by what you are phenotypically presenting, by how society views and treats you and identifies you. Hence,
when these do this to me, because they always get so surprised, I'm like, I'm actually not white, I'm Mexican.
When she said, I'm actually not white, I'm Mexican. Hold on, let me pull this down so y'all can see her. That's as Lily W as you can possibly get. Let's hear that one more again before I move on.
Hence, when these do this to me, because they always get so surprised, I'm like, I'm actually not white, I'm Mexican.
Bitch, are you high? Are you high?
And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, what do you mean, what do I mean? And they were like, oh my God, we thought you were white.
oh my God, we thought you were white. They thought right. Wera, the way
They thought right. Okay. So I'm going to get ready to shut her down pretty soon because this last story is not really going to be as much of a story after all, because I like to have verified proof. And this right now is speculation. And it does seem like something Gabrielle Union would say because she has given off some toxic feminist vibes, but I can't confirm that this is what she said. However, there is this meme going around that allegedly Gabrielle Union is blaming black men for Kamala losing. Now, there have been some brain dead Boule members, some buck broken Barbie bimbos that have been blaming black men. I just can't really delve into this story until I can verify if there's an outlet, an interview where she said this. Instead, it's just a meme that says, look, this is what she said. So this has caused quite a stir on the internet. And I was looking and I couldn't find it. So the quote is that she allegedly says, weak black men used the 2024 election to get revenge on the strong black women they resent. Now, there are some toxic feminazis that actually believe this. It's just, I don't know how accurate that is. So that was gonna be something that I touched on. But then when I looked, I couldn't really find any proof of it. So let me check. Hold on. Just give me 1 second. Hold on. So this is what I found when I tried to look. There's no verified evidence from reputable news outlets or Gabrielle Union's own public statements confirming that she blamed black men for Kamala Harris's election outcome. The only content making this claim comes from user-generated YouTube and TikTok videos, which do not constitute reliable proof. I concur, and this is what I talked about earlier. When someone can just give an anonymous tip and make an allegation about you, by the time you have a chance to defend yourself, things are already viral. The lie is halfway across the world before the truth gets out of bed. So it puts you in a precarious position because when someone tells a lie and allege something about you, if you don't come out forcefully and tear it down, then people say, see, it must be true. Why aren't they defending themselves? Then if you defend yourself too vociferously or fervently, then they say, hey, it must be true. Otherwise, why is this person that triggered? So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. But apparently, some people are trying to cause a stir and a gender divide. Maybe Gabrielle did say this, but I'm going to, hold off on this story until I have more proof. Usually with these stories, you can find an outlet, an interview that will back up what was being said, but it appears that this is just someone trying to stir some divides. And you notice when people are trying to cause a gender conflict, they're always trying to do it with black men and black women. I wonder why that is. They hate the black community. They have black fatigue, yet they're always stirring up, promoting, endorsing, boosting, signal blasting anything that's perceived as dysfunction, depravity, debauchery. Is quite pathetic and quite disgusting. So I don't know if Gabrielle Union is blaming black men. Black men still always get blamed for everything. Right now, it's a bunch of white men running the country into the ground. And some people are still blaming George Floyd. George Floyd is not even here. People still talking about Trayvon Martin, who was a kid, you know what I mean, saying what he deserved. So when people are being mass surveilled by Palantir, when you can't afford to buy a home, when you got a bunch of white people sending other, white and others into other countries to invade and destabilize, Whose culture is that, right? You can't blame black men for that. They say that we're too stupid and too powerless to run the country. So you can't blame us for running the country into the ground. You said we have no wherewithal, no acumen, and no infrastructural power to do it. But there are other demographics that have alleged high IQs and superior culture. How superior is that culture if it's led us to this point, right? So I'm going to get ready to shut it down. I do appreciate y'all for being here with me. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. I definitely will be coming in and hitting y'all strong tomorrow. I have more time tomorrow, so I will be very thorough with some of the breakdowns that I have tomorrow. And I'm sure y'all will be excited with the content that I have. So I'm going to run some visuals. Hopefully y'all stick around to the end of the stream. I do sincerely appreciate y'all, but I'll make sure that the visuals are visually and aesthetically pleasing. So before I get up out of here, you know, I'm gonna hit you. Yeah. Hey. B-Eazy Dat Dude, shit so hot it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. I bring the pain like an aftermath of a car wreck. It's a lot of niggas that say they real, but to me that shit is far-fetched. Most them cats is pussy. They really is on some feminine stuff. I rock up on them with the 40 ounces. The definition of adrenaline rush. What it do is sweet like cinnamon puffer. My niggas is rough like Willow Pass. Grew up out on Mary Mac, but I used to hang on Willow Pass. These firms that I roll with, outcasts and misfits. Better zip lips so you get hit when the fifth spit. Flatline in your pit. Trap habits is black magic, no voodoo. Get the bands like Buku for the cocaine to go cuckoo. Most these niggas is foo-foo, so I'm shitting on them like doo-doo. I can't fuck with y'all like tofu. I'm just saying, man, like Goku. Bad bitches at the house with me watching Netflix or Roku. Fuck them both at the same time, and I swear to God it was so cool. Street legend, real boss. I call shots cause I'm still saucy. I know some G's to the bike crack on Chirac and then fly back out to Millwall. When they hear me flow, they say I be burning up, burning up. Cookie to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. When you hear me flow, say I be burning up, burning up. Cookie to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up.
B-Eazy is that dude you already know. For sure, you already know. It's easy to see why he is that dude. He's been a favorite, even if you hating it. Give him his flowers, pay him respect. He's a certified legend and one of the best. B-Eazy, remember the name.
B-Eazy Dat Dude.
B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, he is that dude, B-Eazy, he is the one that you can call so he can get the job done. He about to reign supreme if you thought his run would soon end. He just getting started though, so go ahead and tune in. B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, he is that dude. professional, ain't never been a hobbyist. He is one of the nicest, realest, coldest, and dopest. So you should take notice. Woo! That dude, B-Eazy, that dude, B-Eazy, that dude. Show love and support to B-Eazy Dat Dude.
Oh, you ain't know? That's just B-Eazy, B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, B-Eazy that dude, ayy.
Ooh, B-Eazy. He's styling and profiling, fresher than a mannequin.
Hey yo, who's that? Mama, there go that man again.
He the one who get the block booming and make the trap move. I'm still trying to figure out who is that dude.
Oh, you ain't know?
That's just B-Eazy, ayy, B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy, he is that dude, so you gotta let him cook. He be going dumb off the hook, got all them haters shook. He a king, you a rook, so don't never start tripping, get it twisted or mistook. You ain't know. That's just B-Eazy, ayy, ayy. That's just B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy is that dude. You hear me? You feel me? Ooh, ooh. B-Eazy that dude, yeah. B-Eazy.
What's up with you? I was trying to shut it down, but it looks like we've been joined by an illustrious guest.
Yeah. What's up with it, man?
What's good with you?
Shit. I'm just chilling, bro. I was just kind of out and about or whatnot, man, and looked at the time and looked on, the YouTube and was like, oh shit, okay, bro, we're here live. I go home and I see the like I thought it was the intro, right? So I hit the red ball, my nigga, and I go to the left. And I'm like, oh shit, this nigga been on like an hour and some change, man. I was like, this the outro. But then I was over there kicking it and it was going so long, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I just went ahead and typed like, nigga, shit, bring me up, nigga.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, what's up, bro? How you feeling?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. It's just been hella hot, bro. Now I gotta get kind of used to this heat coming in right now.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
What was you talking about tonight, though? So I kind of read the title a little bit.
Hey, is one of your hold on, mute up. Hold on, let me mute you. See if you got the YouTube or some in the background, just close that because for some reason it's an echo. So I just had to mute you. But if you got the YouTube or something or another one of those screens, if you can turn that off, because for some reason it has an echo. And then just try to unmute right now.
I got these fans going right now. I don't got nothing playing in the back. It's still echoing and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right, hold on. I'm gonna remove myself and then come back. Hold on.
It may not be you though, bro. Try echo cancellation or something. Is that on?
I usually have that on. Hold on. Yeah, it says.
Let me turn this one fan off and see if it changes. Hold on.
All right. Well, while he on mute, Tedney says it was way too short tonight. Well, I said I wasn't going to be here for a long time.
But a good time. How do I sound now?
You sound cool, but for some reason I can
still echoing, my nigga. Let me drop down and come back, bro. It's got to be me, man. Let me drop down and come back.
All right, for sure. All right, yeah, I was trying to shut it down, but Big Rig wanted to come back. Ted Nees was like, I not so fast. So looks like as I was trying to shut her down, I might stick around for a little bit longer, but I do appreciate y'all. If y'all haven't took the opportunity to hit your boy with the please. Time for a intermission. We kindly request that you show love to the channel's creator and platform by leaving a sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest content. Liking posts is completely free and helps the algorithm boost our reach. We want to grow the community larger and larger. So thank you all who take the time to support us. It does mean the world to us and doesn't go unnoticed.
How do I sound now, bro?
Mic check 1 2. It sounds cool. I'm not hearing that echo. Could you hear me?
Okay, man. Yeah, I hear you. Cool.
Okay, cool.
So you saying
yeah,
your people in the chat was saying you was kind of, you were short tonight?
yeah, they was.
So you got to get to popping it then, bro.
I mean, I was popping it. I'm already almost 2 hours in. You
I
came
know,
late.
but they won't mow.
Okay, I mean, did you see what I discussed in terms of
I
the
didn't, bro. That's what's fucked up, man. I didn't. I ain't even gonna lie, man. I didn't. I just popped in and seen your shit. I didn't. But what was it? I think it was Jackie told me though it was a good show, or Tutnese said it was a great show, bro.
Yeah, I discussed the Afroman. Did you hear about that with Afroman? His house had got raided in
I did hear a
2022.
little bit about that, absolutely. And then they ate his pound cake, so that's why I called it pound cake, right? Ate like some food and took
He
some
made a
bread from him.
song. Yeah, they took like $400 from him.
Right.
He had a lemon pound cake.
Right.
They didn't take it, but they was kind of eyeing it as if they was about to
Oh,
take it.
okay.
And they kind of trashed his house.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing too. And mind you, this was all off of a allegation.
Right.
And this is kind of what I was saying about yesterday. While I get it, you do want to believe victims and you want to believe women, but we're at a point where anyone could just cry, make an allegation and say that me, you, or John physically
You're
inappropriately
right.
touched them. And now I have to prove that it wasn't a lie. Like they say innocent until proven guilty, but it's really guilty until proven innocent. If somebody puts a P-file jacket on you, if somebody puts a RAPE jacket on you, that's what they gonna consider you, right? They're gonna consider you like whatever they labeled you until you prove it otherwise. So these allegations, unfortunately, have more power than the truth in many instances, because by the time you get to tell the truth, people be like, bruh, I heard about this 3 days ago. Why it take you so long, right? If somebody say Big Rig is snitching and then you go on a 2-week vacation from your with your family and detach all your phones, they gonna be like, bro, of course he snitched. Nobody will wait 2 weeks to you see what I'm saying? So all these allegations that people throw out there can be true simply based on how you respond or how you navigate the allegations. What do you have to say about that?
No, you're right, bro. And we kind of just was talking about that on John's that situation with Boosie and the allegations, you know what I'm saying, that girl put on him, you know what I mean? And it seems like it's real easy for somebody to say some things about you and put a jacket on you and people like, kind of go with it sometimes, you know what I mean? It's almost like they willing to believe the lie before they even try to get to the truth. But then at the same time, there needs to be something done, man. These people got to pay some type of price, bro, when they do that, though. Be like,
Yeah, that is true.
like, because it gets out of hand, bro. I mean, like, I mean, you're damaging somebody's character and everything when you do that, do those type of things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are we doing, man?
And how do
So
you
even with
really
that
combat
Afro,
that?
go ahead.
No, I was saying, how do you combat the lies?
And that's the thing, though, bro. Like that's the thing,
Because
and
Big
most
Rig,
times
you've
people
been
will believe
around
the
the
lies,
sector,
bro.
and that's what
Especially
I'm saying, Big Rig.
if you put it in a scenario like you said, you out of town or something, right? So the time kind of, you get a little time that passes by, so it makes you look like, you know what I mean, you guilty or something, you know what I mean? When you just over there just living life, and bro, like that was actually a cold little scenario you put out there with that, bro.
Well, the thing is, it's a cold scenario, but it's relatable and it's happened to people. And
Right,
at what point, because sometimes they tell you to be the bigger person and they say the bigger person you're supposed to ignore. But when people put some smut on your name and you're not used to having any smut on your name, is that something you can really ignore? If you've been known for being a stand-up nigga, right? And
right,
somebody is saying, nah, bro ain't really sturdy like that. The nigga do all sorts of, effery, right?
right,
Bro, you kind of have an obligation to clear your name unless you don't care. But if Big Rig or B-Eazy has went through their life having a certain level of reputation,
right,
where does the line get drawn where you got to stand up for your reputation versus, ah, man, this nigga ain't talking about nothing. This nigga's a peon. Because then it gets to a point where it's like not everybody is on your level, right? And
right,
responding to certain allegation kind of lends a little bit of credibility or legitimacy to the people who's making that argument. Like, how do you feel about that? Or should just all disrespect be responded to?
well, dog, like shit. It it depends, man. Like it's really the situation, bro. If it's something like you say, you're a reputable person, bro, and somebody's really trying to smut you out and just put like some just crazy things on your jacket, bro. Um, and to the point where you know a lot of people, there could probably be like possible ears, bro. You know what I'm saying? And usually it'll be like new ears, so I can see somebody kind of brushing it off because people that know you would know, you a solid dude, and that's that ain't the truth, right? But I still think some things, bro, like you do gotta kind of like check that shit, bro. You gotta check that like right there, you know what I mean, right then and there, like as soon as possible, bro. You know what I mean? And then after that, you can just kind of leave the shit alone, pimping like real shit. Other shit I could see just kind of letting it go, like you say, but it depends, man. It really depends on the situation, kind of what kind of things are being thrown out there and whatnot. Because, like I said, people that really know you and everything, they gonna know when somebody just lying and putting some bullshit on you. But at the same time, bro, even with maybe new people or whatever, you just whatever kind of things you doing in life, bro, and depending on what these people are saying, hell no, bro, you got to check that shit, and then you can go ahead and just go about your way with it, bro. But some things you do got to speak on, bro, for real. That's just me, though.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. And shout out to Don GQ. Ain't seen you in a
I
minute,
ain't even
bruh.
seen the chat, bro. Shout out to the chat, man.
Yeah, salute to the chat. I'm surprised they still here rocking. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. You
Yeah,
chose to be here with me.
off
Um,
top. Hit that
and then
like, bro.
another thing that I was touching on was group economics. I talked about how people could, and Tutney says, protect your reputation at all costs. I respect that. And this is,
Absolutely.
and Big Rig, and this, remember how I asked you, I was like, Big Rig, how do you navigate the sectors, right? You know what I mean? Because you see what happens. A lot of people get doxxed. A lot of people get into fights, and you are a person who is in the thick of the things, but you're not getting a lot of mud on your shoes, a lot of mud on your jacket and clothing, right? But you're right next to the BS. You know what I mean? So Remember, I asked you, how are you able to navigate that? Because what happens is sometimes people, they other people's conflicts becomes theirs, right? So if you cool with someone, then they have beef with someone else because someone I'm cool with has beef with them, right? And then you throw yourself in the line of fire, your reputation gets on the line. Sometimes your peace gets on the line, right? So, what are some ways that you've been able to maintain your reputation as a solid person when you've been you've been associated with some characters that's been known to be controversial, you know what I mean? Like to get into fights, you know what I mean, to dox and all this other stuff, but you somehow come out unscathed. Like how do you protect your peace and your reputation through all of that stuff, Big Rig?
Well, it's kind of like I said before, dog. It's how you move, and it's the people you surround yourself with. I don't necessarily be in all the fuck shit and the bullshit areas. Nah, I don't. Um, I just deal with, the people I deal with. I deal with people that do recaps, you know what I'm saying? And they can talk about all the fuck shit, but me actually just being there and everything, like kind of like before, nah, I don't do it. And then, even with people just period, you
So hold
sometimes be
on.
go ahead.
Were you there before and you pulled back, or you just were never
Yeah,
there at
because
all?
when I first came around, bro, it was new. Things were new to me. You know what I'm saying? It was new. So, I was just kind of like, gathering shit, seeing how things move. But then also at the same time, you end up, meeting people, you know what I'm saying? And you get like what they say, YouTube ships, they cool people, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you rock with them, you know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be, around too much, where there's, fuckery that got to deal with them or something. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you was just in the streets or whatnot, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna just if you rocking with your boy or whatnot, and you may be cool with this other cat, but if you around him or they peoples, they always speaking bad, you ain't gonna really just be around all that type of shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, even with the other cat, it just depends, bro. You know what I mean? So I just kind of move like that. I don't really just be around too much of the crazy shit, bro, to kind of really put any really bad tags on my back. But now when it comes to this shit now, I'm gonna keep it 100, man. Just like you, John, whatever, like, just some things ain't gonna be tolerated, bro. That's it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? And even with my peoples, bro, like that I fuck with, if I just happen to maybe, what I'm saying, be around or whatnot, or if I'm on a panel or something, whatever, I'm not gonna allow no disrespect, bro. If it ends up putting a tag on me or whatever, I mean, it is what it is, my nigga. But
Well,
sometimes you gotta
you
stand
did
up
get
for something,
attacked.
bro.
You
What's
did
up?
get attacked, but well, I've heard, me being in the clouds, I've heard the tags put on you. One of the tags is that you're too nice and that you want to be friends with everybody, but you were
Well, yeah,
cool.
they yeah,
You were
they
cool. You were cool cat. What that?
right. Like that
We
type of shit be like that go through one ear and out the other, right, bro? Because like I always say, man, I am who I am, bro. I'm not changing for nothing, bro. Like I'm not a miserable person, pimping. Like, you know what I'm saying? I try to be as positive as I can. I try to put positive out there, bro. I don't feel the need to put no type of negative out there. There's too much negative in this world as there is, bro. So I don't add to that. You know what I mean? And I'm really firm on karma, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if a motherfucker try to say, "Oh, this dude trying to be nice and like everybody," okay, we'll say some stupid old sideways shit to a motherfucker and see how nice I am. You know what I mean? Like, it's like test the
I
waters.
mean,
I mean, if you really,
but shouldn't that be the default though? Because what's the alternative? If you come in and you super grumpy and angry, then ain't
bro,
nobody gonna want to fool with you. So it's like a damned if you do. If a nigga come in grouchy
man,
with an
that's corny,
attitude,
bro. That's corny. I'm coming in. I'm coming in me, bro. Just like you're you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't over here, whatever. I figure if I was to see you, bro, the way you talk now is the way you talk, bro. It ain't like it's gonna be too far from, you know what I'm saying? Your attitude, your demeanor, and everything. A lot of these motherfuckers come on here and they characters be. That's what it is, bro. These motherfuckers is characters, dog, because there's no way they can be on here, man, on these platforms and talk the way they talk to people, disrespect people, and say these things and still be, having a full set of teeth in their mouth, bro. Or even just be out here able to talk. There's just no way, pimping. You know what I'm saying? So the shit is really funny, bro. So like I try to minus away from a lot of that type of shit because there's a lot of those type of motherfuckers, man, in the sectors, bro. A lot. And you see the type of people I be around, man, it'd be cool, man. We'd be rocking. But you see how some of the people like that they fuck with, bro, end up catching hella heat, my nigga. But see, I'm not the type that be, talking about, the type of daily activities or whatnot that go on. So I be kind of clear from that shit, bro. You feel me? But when you come in and you do that, you know what I'm saying? Basically what they call it, like a reaction. Well, not a reaction, but I can't remember. But they call it something, you know what I'm saying? A recap channel, you know what I'm saying, of the sector shit. That's what you can go through, bro. You giving your opinion on things and talking about things that nobody like to be talked about, bro. But I mean, shit, it's a free world, bro. I'm not against that, pimping. Like, that's just I just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I hear exactly what you're saying, man.
And you've been around B. You've caught in like too little bullshit, but you move cool. You know what I'm saying? And you definitely ain't no punk. Like if somebody say some funny shit, you real snappy with it. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't like you out here just fucking with people, bro, and trying to
Yeah,
call people out. And you'll notice how people try to do that, bro.
yeah,
You know
you
what I'm
kind
saying?
of
Don't
gotta
know
pick
nothing
your
about you.
battles, bro.
Right. Don't know nothing about you and just want to, get the pop in it, bro. Just try to see if they can get you out your body, bro. And I don't do that, bro. I'm too old for that shit, man. Let somebody get at me
Exactly.
and get to me like that. That's crazy, bro. That's kid shit.
And that's what I'm saying. Like as we get older, then it's like we can only give so much energy to so many things, right? Like when we was younger, you remember if niggas was looking at you wrong, what is you mugging me for, nigga? I'll slap the
Off
shit
top.
out you. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Off top, my nigga. Off top, bro. And
but
you know what's
now,
funny, B? I don't mean to cut you real quick because you sparked something in me. And that's what's funny to me, B, because these people, how you just said, hey, the dude, wants to get along with it. Bro, completely opposite, pimping. I'm just different. I'm cool. I'm not on that type of time, bro. But like you said, back in the days, bro, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And these motherfuckers really act like motherfuckers is just sweet, bro. Like they don't know what motherfuckers' backgrounds is or nothing, B. They don't know the man that's standing in front of them now is not the man that, you know what I'm saying, was before, bro.
it remind me of the baby boy. I wish I could play some of the scenes right now. But remember with Tyrese, you feel me? Like,
If you want to pull up a scene, nigga, I'll pop in if you got to pull it up or whatnot. You know what I mean? So there ain't no dead time. Let's rock
nah,
out,
that
nigga.
no, it ain't that. It's just I know with the specific movie, like that type of movie be like copyrighted. That
Oh, okay. I got you.
yeah. So I was just only talking about that specific scene because it would play right into what we were talking about. But what I was saying was Ving Rhames, the nigga had got out the pen and he was trying to, go on his square righteous path. And them niggas was testing him. It's like, bro, just because I may be articulate or nigga, I'm more eloquent, nigga, it's like, this is because I've evolved, nigga. Like,
Right.
it's like, bruh, nigga, I'm still a super saiyan, bro. If you want to get hit, nigga, with, you feel me, with a
Right.
Kamehameha or something, like, but it's like now I'm at a point where I shouldn't have to do that. I want to
Right.
avoid that.
Right.
However, it's still in me because it's not on me. I don't wear it like a
Absolutely.
jacket that I can just take off. It
Right.
really is in me.
Right.
But your strength really shows by how much damage you don't have to do, right?
Right.
I
Absolutely.
could bust a head, but what shows what makes me more of a man is by how many heads I don't bust.
Right.
You
I
see what I'm
agree.
saying?
I agree, bro.
Yeah,
And
so so we have
it took something to get that thinking, B. For real
yes,
though, bro.
right. It took quite some time, you know what I mean? So that's why I do gotta embrace it. But it's actually better too, because remember why I had posed a scenario once we grew up and niggas would say, I'll be right back. for doing a 3-4 year bid, 5-year
Yep.
bid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling you about, like, bruh, could you imagine if you did 4 years and
Right.
you would miss your son's graduation?
Right.
Well, a lot of times, because niggas can't control themselves or they don't know when to pick their battle, sometimes a nigga get into a fight and beat a nigga up, and you might be in the right, but you know what? That's disorderly conduct. That's all sort
Right.
of stuff. You could have went too far
Health
when
and
you beat
safety
the
codes,
nigga up.
this and that. Yeah.
Correct. Now you still got those same 3 years or 2 years right back. You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
some stuff ain't even worth it, bro. What are you even trying to prove? Some
Absolutely.
niggas is so weenie where it's like if you beat them up, you didn't get a stripe. Just
You got
walk
nothing
away.
for it.
Let that nigga
Absolutely.
think. Let that. And this is what happens.
I
Sometimes
know,
people
right? I know exactly what you was gonna say. Yeah, but go ahead.
don't want to give
Let that
some
nigga think
people
he
that
won and everything. Yeah, you got that,
you,
bro. You got that, champ.
That's what I was gonna say. Yep,
I
nigga.
know.
Yep. Because this the thing. What's the alternative? You dog him out, and fights kind of take a while. Usually, when I get into a fight, it's kind of brutal. You feel me? Niggas getting stomped out, something like that, right? If by the time I'm stomping a nigga out, or vice versa, I'm not Superman. I might
Right.
get stomped out. That
Right.
is a possibility, bro. Where you could.
Right.
I seen in a fight, and this is why I always tell niggas about sagging. I seen a nigga in the fight who had hands, but he was sagging, and he stumbled, and a nigga clipped him. Cause the nigga, his pants was sagging, he kind of
Right.
stumbled, and then when you reach to pull your pants up for leverage,
Over.
sweet chin music. It don't take
Yep.
that long. So I'm like, nigga, why were you sagging with no belt? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it don't take much, bro. So it's like, how about you avoid that situation? We need to practice, and I'm talking about society at large needs to practice walking away. Oh, fuck you, nigga. Fuck you, you bitch ass nigga. I'll beat your ass, nigga. I'll beat your ass. All right, nigga, walk away, bro.
Right.
Nobody really wants to fight. Nigga, you
Right.
got a kid, he got a kid, both
Right, man. Shit. I got grandkids, man. Fuck that, man. That shit.
both of y'all got
That's
your
the
shit off. You
worst.
called him a bitch, he called you a bitch.
Right.
I ain't no sucker, nigga. I ain't no
Right.
sucker. All right. Neither one of y'all are suckers. Y'all both called each other
Right.
bitches. You go to your son, he go to y'all, and leave
Right.
it at that.
Right.
Because what happens, bro? Let's say you do win the fight. Nigga, I'm not taking that fight lightly. You saw what happened when the nigga got stomped out in Menace to Society.
That's a fact.
That's what's gonna happen, because now if you stomp a nigga out, most likely someone has got it on cam. So, bruh, you finna make me go viral getting stomped out. Somebody is gonna pull up on you. So how about we just avoid the fight altogether? Because the one fight is not gonna end there.
But
You
look,
either
hold on.
go
But
ahead.
look, B. He said the one fight's not going in there. But look,
Not with
you was about
me,
to
it
cook.
ain't.
But look, but that's why to stop you real quick, bro, because you said something that fucked me up. Look, you said, look, you finna somebody go definitely record it, right? So you finna have a viral clip of me getting stomped out, bro. Like, absolutely not, man. Somebody for sure finna come pull up on you. Nigga, that's what's gonna happen nowadays, B. You're absolutely right. You gotta, and if you don't think that shit,
Bro,
you're a
you
fucking
gotta
fool.
get active. Bro, to keep it a buck, your
This is
son might
crazy,
get
bro.
active.
This is crazy,
I'm
bro.
keeping it real. And nigga's son might get active to uphold the name and the honor of his family. Because once it goes viral, the kids at the school is gonna get a hold of it.
Oh man, see, look, you're taking it. Hey, look. Oh, shit.
Add hella little twist.
Oh shit. That was good, bro. Because I'm like visualizing it too, like, you know what I'm saying? Like a news clip is viral. The kids like, what the fuck? Going to school, kids testing this nigga, talking shit. You know what I mean?
Well, you see it
Hell no, you
already.
gotta nigga definitely gonna be fighting for his honor, bro.
Yeah, you see it already because some dudes they have to fight
Oh
because their
man,
mom is on OnlyFans.
bro, man, you know that's something we need to get on too one day. That's a topic.
Yeah,
You ain't
and you
never lied, bro. You ain't because on the real B, there's more of that than there is, you know, and it's basically kind of the same. Than there
correct,
are, you know, your mom being a fucking porn star, bro. You know what
correct.
I'm saying? Like it, man, bro. That's got to take a toll, bro. And yeah, you could be living
It
the life.
does,
She buying you everything. She in the Benz, whatever. You know, y'all living in a nice condo, whatever, bro. But
but
whew,
at what expense?
at what expense, bro? Absolutely, B. That's crazy.
Yeah, because the kids ain't gonna be able to live that down or explain it away. So you have to fight. You have to
Oh
fight for
man,
your
bro.
honor to stop getting clowned, and you have to fight because nobody wants to hear their mom getting clowned on like that.
Yeah,
Or to show like, oh look, I can pull up your mom getting smashed right now and
bro. You
send
know
it to
how
a bunch of
awful
people.
that's gotta feel though, pimping. Like real shit, bro. Like I said,
Crazy.
even though
You
y'all
can't
pulling
even
up the
fathom it.
nice cars, yeah, bro. But that's real though, because there are some young ones, man, out there that they go through that, bro. Because some of these motherfuckers that are OF'd out are super big on Instagrams and they're not
Facts.
privated, bro. Like this all comes into play, bro. You
And
know,
they
and
say
then
once it's on the
oh
internet,
man,
it's
that's
on there forever.
crazy, bro. That's a fact, B.
And once it's on the internet, it's on there forever, bruh.
Forever, bro.
But
I don't care how many times you delete it.
while you up here, since we didn't get to do our stream, this will be like a prelude to that stream. So let me try to make this a little bit bigger. And then after we chop it up a little bit, I'm gonna shut it down. But this is things from the 80s that kids today won't understand. Shit, you might not even understand some of this stuff. So we gonna go through the slides. What you know about this?
Man, I know all about that, brother.
What whip you think of that you had that had this?
I had a 77 Ventura, bro, with them roll up windows. I had
A
a
77
84
Ventura.
Datsun. I had a 84
I had a
Datsun truck.
Taurus. I had a Ford Taurus that had those. I'm trying to think, did my box Chev have those?
Yes, because there's not too many box Chevys that have power windows, bro.
Yeah, no, I know the 84 didn't, but to be honest, the 89 actually did have power windows.
That one for sure did. Usually 80s
Yeah,
babies do,
but the
but
84
late
didn't
80s
have one.
babies though.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was literally the last model, and this one was considered like luxury back then to have electric windows. But some people did like these windows because then when the electric windows went out, you feel me? You kind of had to pay an arm and a leg back then. Or let's say your electric window went out and your window was halfway down or all the way down. You know what I mean?
No, I ain't going for it, B. Because look, check this out, bro. And this is because I know you a Chevy dude. You know, shout out to you, pimping. You let them boxes. Shout out to you, pimping. But I'm an Oldsmobile dude. You know what I'm saying? And with them O's, like I always say to my Chevy boys, and they try to get on me. We all damn near the O's and Deltas and shit, bro. Because we talking about the box Chevy. We had power windows, bro. Like it was almost like really common. I be getting on Chevys, bro, because I just really think that Chevys was lacking, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of interior things, bro. Real shit. So you
Bro,
getting on
taking
the
this little
electric window.
shot.
Look, you getting on the electric windows talking about they get stuck with you. Nah, I ain't going, bro. I'd rather go through that little bullshit and go to Pick and Pull, grab me another motor or whatnot, my nigga. Swap that shit out than ever roll up and down the motherfucking windows like that. Cause look, if you got four windows or whatnot, or even a little wing window in the back, bro, and you gotta roll that thing down, you get in the car, bro, you gotta reach all in the back and roll that shit down, roll the other one down. Then if you park and go somewhere, you know what I mean, you gotta roll them all back up.
Bro, they don't even make those little wing windows damn near no more.
Oh shit, dog.
And Tutney says she had these in her truck a few years back, and
Off
my
to
little
oh
nephews
shit.
the nephews didn't know.
Okay.
That's why I said a few years. I'm like, okay, Tedney.
Shout out to you.
I
You
had
know
him
what
a
I'm
few
talking about?
decades, but I hear you. Let's go to the next slide. What you know about tape? What you know about taping a song off a radio?
Come on,
and
man. I think I had that exact fucking boombox, bro. That's crazy. I had a black one that looked just like that, and one side was blue and one side was red with the dual cassette, bro. Only one side would record. You would have to put a piece of tape in the tape,
I
depending
was
on if you was
just
using a
about to
fucking
ask you, nigga, did you know about that? You put a little piece of paper and then you put some tape over.
Yeah,
I was gonna
man.
say, nigga, what you
Because
know
sometimes
about
we didn't
that?
have just tape at the house, bro. So we cut up a little piece of mail paper one time, bro, stuffing in
Yeah,
there, or some toilet
that's
tissue.
what I used, a little piece of paper and
Off
tape over it.
top.
And on top of that, like let's say it was a jam, like somebody had the Dr. Dre and you like, oh, I need a dub of that. But you
Yeah.
only got a like a Gerald Levert tape. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
sorry, Gerald.
Nigga put the
I need
Gerald Levert in and have LL Cool J play. You like, what the fuck? Hey, niggas used to call the radio station, bro. You feel me? Just to get them to play the song so you can record it, pimping. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers didn't have paper all the time to go to the record store and buy that shit.
That's
You call the radio
wild.
station. Man, don't play with me, dog. And sometimes the radio stations was real cool and they would have like the DJs that would throw like a dope mix. You know what I'm saying? And you just go ahead and record that shit because you knew like 2 or 3 of your songs was gonna be in that mix.
Oh, my bad. I said for my bad, Tudnese. You had a woman on your profile. So that's why I said she. My bad, bro.
Hey, he checked that real fast. See, dog, like some things you gotta check real fast, pimpin'. We was just
Hey,
talking
yeah,
about that.
hey,
You can't
that's what
let
I
that
said.
shit slide.
You can't let that slide. Yeah,
I can't let that slide.
definitely not. Okay, so hold on. Let me see. Let's
Yeah,
go
I
to
ain't
the
young,
next slide.
Tudnese. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no young nigga. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Tudney's a young whippersnapper with the breath smelling like Similac. So
Oh,
you don't know
damn
nothing about
shit.
this.
Oh, he in his 20s and shit? Shout
What you
out to
know about
Tudnese,
this?
man. Let me see what you
Just
got going.
how magical Christmas was.
I could barely see it, but I don't know what's in front of her. What is she holding, bro? What is that? A
Nah,
strawberry shortcake?
it's just showing that like how Christmas, like I think we
Oh,
value
like how it
Christmas
was
a
back in
little
the
bit
day?
more. Yeah, but
Man,
I think
I used to have them like that too.
I think she's holding a Cabbage Patch and a Rainbow Bright doll.
Okay, and look at
And then
that crazy shit that's on the tree, bro. You remember that crazy ass shit that would make a mess, bro? It looks like I could see
yeah,
that shit on there.
that
What was it
tinsel,
called?
that shit
Tinsel?
made
It was like
that shit
red and
made a
gray
lot
or
of
silver,
mess.
whatever the fuck.
Okay, what about this? Waiting a week for your photos to find
Hell
out
yeah,
they were.
dog. Hey, I remember going to the little spot for my pops, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I was first learning how to drive, I'd take his little shit and go to they used to have the little pop-up type little photo spots, bro. You drop off your shit, you come back.
All right, let's see what the next slide. Hold up. What you know about
Wow.
this?
Man, I remember those tough, bro. I remember my grandma, she had the even old schooler one, bro. You remember the old school one? It looked
Nigga
like
older
it
than
was something in the
this.
Winchester Mystery House or something. It was hella ancient, bro. I thought that shit was cursed, pimping, but like my grandma had that shit, and she had hella those ones, bro. Shit, we had one of those ones, same color. Oh shit! Oh shit! Same color, bro. And sometimes the
Damn.
cord would get hella crazy. That cord would get hella stiff, bro.
Hey,
You try to pull it to answer it, bro. The whole phone want to go with you, pimping. Like, you like, damn, hold on, let me unravel this shit.
Hey, and remember the phone, like once we got the new upgraded phones like this, but before we had the cordless, you had that long ass cord that stretched
Man,
across
that
the
shit was
entire
like
house.
50 feet, bro.
Bro, that shit like went
That shit
stretched
go
to
from
the
the kitchen to
neighbors.
your room. That shit, you
Like
know,
what?
that's like you didn't have a phone in your room. He was like, look, mom, can we just get that cord?
That's what I'm like. I'm cool. Like I didn't have a phone in my room. As long as I had the cord, I was good.
You was good, bro. As long as motherfuckers wasn't tripping, you know what I'm saying, and hit that cord and shit and knock it out or some
Oh,
bullshit,
that
you'd be like,
happened
come
too
on,
when you
man.
chopping game. You feel me? You spitting that ism to a
And then you
biddy,
mess up
and
that
then
little tab on there to where it easily comes out because you done fucked it off so many times.
no, but if you click it out with some force, that tab gets broken. So now you got to get a whole new cord.
Niggas wasn't just getting new cords like that. They was like lightweight putting a little tape on the end of that shit on the thing. You feel me? Like you stick it in there and kind of like jam the wire up a little bit so it would stay in place, bro.
Hey, but now that
Motherfuckers
I
was
think
creative
about
back
it,
in the days, pimping.
I was just finna say, like, cuz, like, we really used to get it done from all cost, huh?
Man, before I had a remote control car, bro, I used to tie like a little like, shoestring to the front of my little like Tonka trucks and shit and kind of like ride around with the shit behind me like it was a remote control car, bro. Like a motherfuckers was creative as fuck, bro. Motherfucking parents see me doing that shit like, nah, we gonna get you a remote control car. And I was cool though. I wasn't tripping or nothing like that, but I was just like, you feel me? And they knew what I was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? They're like, man, we gonna get this little nigga a remote control car. I was just creative, bro. Shit.
All right, so let's see the next slide.
Oh,
This
them
meant it
color
was
lights, bro.
no, well, just in general, this meant it was
Oh, okay.
time to
Because
come
I
home.
remember when the lights was that. You remember when the lights was that color?
Yeah, but is this how you grew up? That you had to be
Hell
home?
yeah! When the lights came on, you better be home, bro.
Exactly.
That's off
My,
top, bro. I don't, nigga. Look, and if you wasn't, they gonna look, and you better be coming up that street, bro, and you may get a little grace. But if you ain't
yeah,
even
you
coming
may.
up the street by the time they did that look, and say you do come in after they did that look, it's over with. Like
Because
you
technically,
wasn't on the strip good enough, bro.
yeah, because you were supposed to be in before the
You were
lights hit,
supposed to be
like
in
you
before the
said.
lights. You know what I'm saying? So if they did the look and they didn't see you up the street and then they walk away, you feel me? And then, you come in the door. Oh, no, nope.
No, not only that, if they do not only if they do the look, if they do the yell, right? If they like Big Rig,
Oh, then it's cookies, bro.
yeah,
Because
if
now
they
they
yelling Big
mood is a
Rig,
little fucked up.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. Like if they just do the look, it's like okay, but that's why I said you come in after the look is cookies. But now if you get
it's
the yell
cooked.
though, like wooty woo.
Hey, but peep this. It's not just the yell, it's the yell and no response. Cause if they like Big
Ooh,
Rigs and then you like, huh? Then they at least know you in the vicinity. But if they yell and they don't hear nothing and it's just a Big Rig, Big Rig, Big Rig, Big Rig, then they like, oh yeah.
like E. coli. Hey, real talk though in the chat, bro. I really did pull the Tonka truck like that, man. I remember it like it was yesterday. I tell no lies, man. But I really was
Yeah,
just
Chudney
into
said that was
just
imaginative, like you painted a little
right,
picture.
bro. But
Bro
the thing
painted a
is
little
though, and
picture.
me as a parent, bro, like, and this is how I knew what they was thinking when they seen that shit, because I really wasn't tripping, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was having fun, but my parents though when they see that shit, they was like, "Oh hell no," because I would have did the same shit. Like if I just see my little one doing that, I'm like, "Oh, bro, we go get you a remote control car, bro."
My first remote control card had a little cord on it. And I was like, nah, I need one of them real things. That little cord
Right.
in
I
the
didn't like
Willis.
the cord ones. My
That
first
shit.
remote was the tank from Radio Shack, bro.
Oh,
The Radio
really?
Shack used to sell this tank, and my dad got for me, bro, and I loved it, bro, because I used to have it go up shit, and it was a full remote, bro, because I used to have the wire ones, but I hated them because you got to walk behind it. So
You
it's kind of
got
like the same,
to.
like me doing
I had a
the
dope.
Tonka
Yeah.
toy with the string, because what the fuck is remote control with the cord, bro? When I gotta follow it, bro.
That string had me hot. But like the Tonka
Yeah,
was
I never
dope.
understood that.
And then I had like a Lamborghini remote control. It was fire, but like it had a cord on it. It was just killing it, bro. Hey, but now
It
they
had
got remote
everything,
control.
though, but it had the goddamn cord. You know what I'm saying?
Now they got them gas power remote control cars that do like at
Oh,
least,
see,
I
now
think
my
these do at
rich, you
least
know what I'm
like
saying, little
50.
white partners, they had those, dog. And I was
Yeah.
always like, wow. You know what I mean? And look, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I had a pretty good childhood, bro. Like I had a go-kart, bro. This dude up the street, you know what I'm saying? He had made one. It was dope. And fucking for my birthday, my pops bought it for me. You feel me? And my boy had one of them gas-powered fucking remote control cars, dog. And he raced me, dog. And he won, nigga. I was like, man, them fucking little gas-powered cars were amazing, bro.
Oh, you can do
Amazing. They
donuts in
still
them
are.
and everything. Yeah, the ones they have now is even better. They bro, you
Yeah.
can do donuts.
Bro, they do almost like 50, 60 miles per hour.
Easy, bro. They were doing 50 back then. Those things is hot.
Because my boys back then was doing an easy 45 because my go-kart did like 30 strong, bro. Like strong. I probably could maybe 35, but 30 strong. And that thing zipped by me, bro. I was like, hell no. But go ahead. What's your next slide?
Only having three. It says only having 3 or 4 channels to choose from. Now I didn't have 3 or 4 channels to choose from, but this one.
I didn't have that, but I did have regular TV. But I think it was more than 3 or 4 channels.
What about this one? This the last one, I think. Having to get up to change the channel.
Absolutely. The two knobbers, the UHF and VHF. I hated it, bro. Because I remember our TV, we had a remote TV. It was like a first remote, and there was hella fat buttons on the remote. And the buttons on the TV, it was a Hitachi. The buttons on the TV kind of went all the way down, like in like a line. So it was like 3 to fucking like whatever, like 44 or whatever the fuck it was. And then I guess you could switch the little thing and it changes it. But hell yeah, dog. I remember we had the two knobbers, bro. And sometimes they'd be hard to turn and you'd lose a fucking knob and you'd have to get like some vice grips, bro, or a flathead screwdriver. Remember that shit?
Yeah, no, I know exactly which one you had. You had one of these or what?
Bro, damn near, bro. That's look at that big ass power button. Hey, dog, them TVs were heavy too, bro. My dad also had the big cabinet, bro, with the turntable and speakers all built in it. And,
did he have that?
It was fat, bro. It was like 70.
I know your dad had.
bro.
Did he have that tall like tool? That tool kit. That it was like tall. It had wheels. And it was like a drawer that had hella tools and did your pops have that?
Nah, he never was a tool guy and like all like that. Nope, sure didn't.
I remember
the only type of tools he had was a couple of sockets, bro. Like that nigga would have. He was a pro with a little socket set, bro. That's about it, bro.
He was socking.
My dad was cold with a socket set. You feel me? And they was always there. You feel me? And he was like, "Hey, don't lose them sockets." You know what I'm talking about?
Hold on, I'm gonna pull some up. Hold up.
Hey, dog, we got to get that stream going. You got to get some of that shit, bro, so we can just how you doing them slides, bro. They're waiting for that, bro. We have to do that, B. God, dog, man, we gotta do that, bro. That shit's gonna.
Did you ever get one of these? Did you ever get one of these?
Hold on, I was just looking at your chat. Man, come on, look, dog. I ain't even gonna get into all that, but hell yeah, dog. I had those Montgomery Wards, nigga. And look, I'm gonna do it anyways, nigga. I used to go to the bra section and shit. I used to go to the bra section and shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I was a cold little dude, pimping. I ain't lying, bro. Like. That's the first, and I tried to, I couldn't shut it down. Like the first thing I thought of when you showed that serious thing was that, bro. But I also liked them because I was always into electronics, bro. Like, so I always like looking at, you know what I'm saying? Like stereos, and speakers and shit like that. Like, I love that shit. And Sears always had a cool little fucking like section. Like every time I go to like Sears and like the mall, certain spots, they would have keyboards in there or, you know, stereo systems, and I'll just play them or whatever bullshit. But the little girly section, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I used to look at them and posing in them bras and draws.
Hey, that's That's crazy. That was like our little soft core little
I ain't
piece.
gonna lie. Look, bro, look, B. I tell no lies, pimping. You feel me? And then they just popped up on me when you did that. I tried to hold it back, pimping, but I'm like, fuck it, man. It is what it is, man. Yo chat, my chat, man. I'm gonna just keep it all the way 100, bro. You feel me? We chopping game, man.
Nah, I can respect it too. Not only that, it's like once you was a little young grasshopper, you had to find any little thing and turn it into some sort of like arousal thing.
Hey, that
Mind you,
imagination, right?
this was part of the JC Penney. This is part of the
Man,
JC
look,
Penney.
dog. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I used to always look at that shit.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. Like, I feel you, bro. So this the time, man. You gotta
Do they
figure
even
out.
have those type of brochures and shit anymore, dog? Or is everything
I
just kind of online and shit?
I think it is. Some people do sell them. But like I said, I think people try to overcharge now because
For actual like
it's more of a
paper shit and whatever.
it's more of a nostalgia thing. Now look at this
Damn.
one right here. That Santa Claus one, I think everybody damn near had that JC Penney one. That JC Penney with the Santa Claus one.
I could barely see it, bro. Let me turn my phone sideways. I can't really make it out. Man, them Christmas things though, I used to love it, dog. Like the Toys R Us and the Payless and shit, bro. I love that Payless jingle, bro. I don't know if there was a Payless across like, the country and shit, but I used to love that Payless song, bro. It was a Merry Christmas song, dog, and it was just for Payless, bro. But that does look familiar. I can barely make it out. You're talking about the red one on the top, like third, right? The second big one. Oh, he dropped. But hell yeah, y'all. I don't know if y'all had a Payless where y'all at, man, but back in the 80s, oh man. I'm big on them jingles, y'all. I used to love them commercial jingles, old school Growing Pains.
Hey,
Fucking
what's up, Big Rick?
the beginning. What's up, bro? I was just talking to your crowd one time, but I don't see your avatar, bro.
Hey, my Wi-Fi went out on my computer, so I think I'm about to
Oh,
shut it down.
okay, yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you, bro. I
But
appreciate you
let me
letting me
know if
up,
y'all
man.
can hear me.
I hear you. Can you hear me? Damn, he can't hear me.
All right, for some reason I don't hear anybody, but my Wi-Fi went out. Okay, so it looked like Tutney's can hear me. I can't hear Big Rig. Okay, cool. You can hear me, but I can't hear you. I don't know, man. My Wi-Fi went out, so I had to hop on my phone. But you know what? Big Rig, this is the motivation. We gonna do that stream. Yeah, I can see that Big Rig is there, but I can't hear, bro. And shout out to Tutney's. He says this was a fun stream. I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know why. My Wi-Fi is acting kind of janky right now, so I had to hop on my phone. But don't trip. I'm gonna hit y'all back tomorrow anyways. Um and Big Rig said we gonna get it lit. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down, bruh. I appreciate y'all for supporting the stream. Love y'all. And he says y'all gotta do that stream one day. Yeah, that stream is gonna come up. You gotta come through Tutney's. But I'm gonna get ready to shut her down just because I'm on my phone and my Wi-Fi on my computer is kind of tripping. So I'm gonna end this thing and I will hit y'all tomorrow. I'll have more time. I'll tap in with y'all. Salute to y'all. Love y'all. Blessings.